2. Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It's Tuesday, October 1st. I'm here with Al, Brandon, and Lindsay. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hey. Good to see you. All right, we do begin with some breaking
energy
news.
Dropped.
Sorry, I buzz-killed it. We have some crazy news here. Former Dallas cop Amber Geiger, she was found guilty of murder in the shooting death of her neighbor Botham Jean. Geiger says she mistakenly entered his apartment thinking it was her own and then shot him dead in 2018. The jury in this case deliberated for less than 2 days, ultimately rejecting her self-defense claims. Now, she faces a prison sentence of 5 to 99 years, and here is what the attorney for Botham Jean's family is now saying.
This is a huge victory, not only for the family of Botham Jean, but as his mother Alison told me a moment ago, this is a victory for black people in America. It's a signal that the tide is going to change here.
So I want to know, the sentencing phase is also happening today. So that's a really crazy thing to happen. What do you guys think, knowing the judge has all of this on her plate, what do you think is going to be the sentence? I just kind of want to go around the horn real quick.
Well, knowing the judge and how harsh she's been in the past, especially people on, like, in these situations, she's given the death penalty. Well, not this specific, this is very unique, but I think that she's going to move forward and be harsh. And I know that that's not the way the history usually goes. That doesn't usually happen when a white woman kills a black person.
Right, but 5 to 99, what, if you had to give it some years?
I would say 25.
Okay.
25.
Wow.
That's, well, knowing that same judge who allowed the defense or allowed the Castle Doctrine, stand your ground plea to be up in there, that opened up a lot of a can of worms, and a lot of people thought that she was going to get off. I'm pretty shocked that she was found guilty. So I'm going to say 5, and she only does 3. Wow. Because I understand people are saying, you know, for black people, the tides are going to turn. But at the end of the day, a lot of people, and I still feel like that's a white woman who was up there crying and saying that she wished that he would have taken her life, and he was waving his arms aggressively.
So you think 5 only?
5.
All right,
3.
Al?
Thanks for cutting me short.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Anytime.
And I understand where Brandon's coming from. I mean, we've seen things obviously with the Freddie Gray case. Those officers were found guilty, but then they got almost nothing for a sentence.
So yes,
we've seen it. Yes, so we've seen. So that's where a lot of the angst that Brandon is coming, and a lot of African Americans are coming from. This feels different to me, and I don't know why. It just feels different. As quickly as she was convicted, I believe that she didn't come off well on the stand. I believe that this judge is not going to mess around, and I believe that the city of Dallas, which I was just in Friday, just getting the overall feeling of the city, I don't think there's not this like half are with her and half are against her. I don't think it's going to work out well for her. I don't, you know, this is a tragedy, but I mean, justice needs to be served.
So put a number on it. Put a number on it.
I'll say she's going to do 10 to 12.
I think I'm with you. I think it's 15 to 25, and I do think she is making the sentencing phase quickly because it's a signal that she's going to be harsh. Right. DBL Nation, now we want to know what you guys think, so give us a number because we'll be debating it all day. All right, now some crazy video. You've got to check this out. A catering cart was spinning out of control at the Chicago airport yesterday. Now, authorities say the accelerator got stuck, and as it spins around, the cart keeps getting closer and closer to the plane. Finally, a quick thinking American Airlines employee jumps on a baggage cart. Watch this. He comes in from the right, there he goes, and saves the day. And even the president is now responding, tweeting, "Great job, just in time." So how would you feel, or if you were on the ground? I mean, what would you feel if you were like just saw this going over and over again?
I would just pass out in laughter. I'm sorry. That would be not helpful at all.
What is it about this that just gets you? Like,
it's just ridiculous. I don't know. When things that get really awkward and uncomfortable, like.
But this is nothing compared to the way she was laughing this morning at our desk. Like, she was laughing hysterically, and I'm like, why is it so funny?
I'm easily tickled. I'm happy that nobody got hurt there.
Yeah, of course
that
you are.
makes me happy.
A lot of people are using it as a meme now for things that are going wrong.
That's how some days of my life feel.
But the employee who stepped in, had he or she gotten hurt, they can collect workers' comp, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like
that's what I'm doing. That's the first thing that popped in my head.
Brandon's doubling as a personal injury attorney.
6 months vacation.
Is your face on the side of a bus? Call Brandon London. That's amazing. All right, more unbelievable video in right now. A bridge in Taiwan collapsed today, and the entire thing was caught on camera. In case you missed it, an oil tanker that was trying to cross fell right onto the boats below. You can see it right there. At least 12 people were hurt. 2 bodies have been recovered, and yet they're still trying to figure out why the bridge collapsed. So here's the thing. We don't really think about infrastructure, but our infrastructure hasn't been updated since FDR, the Depression. So it's a bipartisan issue. Why wouldn't we, the first thing we do, work on our bridges and our roads, right?
We need to, and even the new infrastructure, like what you saw in Miami last year, that collapsed.
Yes.
So I think it's just like a lack of attention, and really it's the fault of all of us to make sure and have these people looking over, people who are building this stuff, to make sure that we're safe. I know in Australia they have a bridge that I can't remember, where you do the bridge climb. I don't remember the name, Sydney Bridge, I believe. And on that bridge they have these sensors that tell you when parts
that
are
would
like
be nice.
That would be nice if we can install. Nice. I don't know if we have those or not. I just know when I did the bridge climb, they told us. I'm like, what if we fall? They're like, no, we know when something's a little loose. So
I get. I mean, I didn't know that. I went there twice and I had no idea. You know, but I think our bridge situation and just our infrastructure situation, it just highlights that we agree on things and it still doesn't get done. I think that we spend so much time arguing, so much time trying to show you that I'm right, trying to show you that show you that you're wrong, that we can't get the things that we agree on. That we all agree that we all need safe bridges, and it's like, why don't we? Why is this not done?
Like, if I were
Can
one
somebody
of the
walk me through that?
I completely agree with. If I were one of the Democratic candidates, the first thing I'd be doing is I want to fix the bridges and the roads, because you've got both sides that are interested.
And also
in
it puts people to work.
Exactly. Great point.
When I'm back in New York, I drive through the Lincoln Tunnel all the time, and since my rookie year in 2007, the Lincoln Tunnel, the price has gone up from like $8 to like $18, and I'm always complaining about that. So where's the money going if we haven't updated our infrastructure?
DBL, let us know if you're also interested in fixing our roads and bridges. I would think they would all be that. All right.
That gets them tweeting in. Infrastructure. Guys, don't shut us down.
All right, you've got to see this next video, and it is a warning to our viewers. It does contain some graphic content. A woman was finishing up her business at a police headquarters in California when a 22-year-old woman walked in. You can see her grab the other woman, allegedly holding her hostage, while threatening her with an 8-inch meat cleaver. Eventually, police came in, since it was a police station, and used a stun gun to disarm the 22-year-old. So why use a butcher's knife? Why do it in a police station when you know you're going to get caught?
It's a cry for help. I mean, this person seems to be undergoing some psychosis. There was a football player, we don't need to bring it up, but he took some drugs and then stripped himself naked and went to a police department and laid down. There's something really weird about, like, when people have a break from reality, that they almost seek help and they do it in a strange way.
Yeah, because she's almost at the place she needed to be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and we don't know if this woman could be homeless, because you hear a lot of things about homeless people committing some sort of crime because when they go to jail, one, they have a place to sleep. They're getting 3 meals, that sort of thing. So maybe she did it not thinking that she was going to kill the girl or cause some sort of harm. But like you said, she went to the police station knowing that she was going to get arrested.
Right, and looking for a motive. You know, the victim didn't even know this girl.
Yeah, they were random,
this woman. So, you know, it's kind of weird. It makes you wonder, is it mental health?
I'm glad they used a stun gun. I'm glad it all ended well.
Yeah.
I am, because that could have ended poorly. All right, guys, we have a lot of teachers who watch our show, and we have a lot of teachers who have to take a second or third job to make ends meet. But now we're learning more and more they are resorting to sugar daddy dating websites like Seeking Arrangement to pay the bills. The sites allow women to set up mutually beneficial relationships, often with older men.
Buddy.
Okay, often, I'm trying to be good here.
Yeah, clearly.
Often with older men who are willing to pay for companionship. Seeking Arrangement says they have more than 10,000 teachers on their site.
Can we sum that up with rich, gross dudes?
Okay, yes, we can sum that up. But my question to you all, you have a kid, they go to school, and you find out their teacher is on one of these sites. Does this bother you at all?
I don't think that the teacher's personal life has anything to do with
nothing. It doesn't bother you at all.
Whatever you do in the nighttime is your business. If you teach my kid well, I also don't have kids. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I don't think that I would start judging her for being on the app. Like, one woman said she went to get steak and lobster. That's it, Al. And got fired.
Did she write "That's it, Al" in her statement?
Al, you're a father. What would you say?
Not only my father, I'm a former teacher, Tori, and I know what my starting salary was. It was roughly about $33,000 a year. I really just was working to live, and I completely understand. We're so worried about, because we come from such a puritanical society, that we're so worried about the sex aspect of this. I think it's more of a gross inaction towards our teachers that they have to get 3 jobs.
Right.
That teachers. Almost all the teachers I work with did taxes in the summer. They drove Uber. They had second and third jobs. They gave blood.
Yeah,
plasma. So because I think that's more of an injustice towards our teachers than wondering if they're doing some kind of, let's call it this. Is this low-level prostitution?
In some respects, a lot of people think that. A lot of people.
It's exchanging What is this for dinner?
So low,
come on, dog.
So back in the day, Teacher Al, you would have had a sugar mama?
Yes.
You would have a sugar mama?
Yes.
Like,
I would have one now.
We are real here.
Some of these people said they were in long-term relationships after the one date of steak and lobster.
If you believe that, I got a bridge I want to say in Brooklyn. Lindsay is so nice. She's like, apparently some really wonderful.
The best of people. You never know.
I'll take the other side here. I do think some people would be really upset if they found out, and I'm not one of them, that their teacher is doing this on the side.
Pay them more.
Hey, I agree with you, but I want to hear from our DBL Nation in here. If you are a teacher or if that would upset you, write in. We want to get to you. All right? All right?
Yeah, go get your steak and lobster. You can't get on TikTok.
All right, well, we have to give a big DBL
He's only 58, ladies.
Stop it. We have to give a big DBL shout out to Jimmy Carter. Today is the former president's 95th birthday. He is the oldest living former president. He still works, which is crazy, on Habitat for Humanity.
I was going to say, that's his project, right?
His project, but also he decided in '86, I want to erase the guinea worm disease, and he actually did. It's the second disease in all of history to be erased and eradicated completely, and it is the first to be done without a vaccine or any medicine. It was just stagnant water. And he took it upon himself to save 3 million people a year.
And he also was pro-integration of the schools, and he also was really forward-thinking when it comes to letting African Americans vote in this country. So I always look to him as somebody.
Yeah, we got it, but back to the guinea worm.
Run that back for me. I think that was
and climate change. She's also really good at climate change,
and he still gives speeches. I saw him. He's still sharp.
Absolutely.
95. All right.
95. So our love to you, Jimmy Carter. Thanks for being a humanitarian. DBL is live and coming up. Co-host Jeff Schroeder loses his cool in one of those popular rage rooms. Will he feel better after breaking a few things? And you, the viewer, are our fifth host. Should teachers be allowed to carry guns in the classroom? It's a simple question, but the answer can be complicated. Your comments coming up next.
Schubert here, the DBL Digital team. Happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining us today. We're happy to have you here. The hosts are very chatty. Let's go see what they're talking about. Hey guys, what are y'all talking about here?
Well, they're making fun of
guinea worm.
Tori, look up some guinea worm facts.
I actually have a lot, and we were going to show a picture of a guinea worm, but they were very specific.
You knew offhand in the meeting.
Oh, the guinea worm.
Guinea worm.
Because
she was like, yeah.
says like this. Bill Gates is in the middle of trying to eradicate here, Travis.
He really is.
He's like, hello. He's trying to eradicate polio right now, and he's still finding trouble spots. But who's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna eradicate a disease that kills millions of people, and then do it.
Well, he picked an easy one.
Dude, without vaccines,
it's just
without
standing
medicine,
water. You can just kick it.
You can't just kick the water.
with your
No,
finger.
that's not it, Al. Don't try doing that. It's incredible. In Africa, and it's stagnant water. And what would happen is if you were washing or cleaning or sewage, it would get into your body and it would become a parasitic worm and it would reach 6 feet, 8 feet long. It's gross, but it would kill you from diarrhea, which is so simple to solve. And he said,
That's called dysentery. I don't think people realize that.
Exactly.
When you hear about dysentery.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
So I could, if I'm a mom, I could go get some Maalox and fix my kid. And Jimmy Carter's like, these kids are dying 3 million a year.
Did you say Maalox?
Yeah, for diarrhea.
How old are you? Maalox.
What else?
Have you even heard of that?
What do you?
That is old. That is old.
It is?
School. Yes.
All right. Well, anyway, I'm saying he said, I don't want this to happen. So the Carter Foundation eradicated the disease completely. And I think that's an incredible achievement.
That's really cool.
Okay, good.
It's all jokes aside.
Thank you.
It really is.
This
Way better
segment's
than my
sponsored
fun
by
fact.
Maalox.
Last time I say something nice about
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Fifth Host, when we talk about what you're talking about. So students in Florida will be entering classrooms with armed teachers. Now more than a year after the Parkland shooting, a new law allows some teachers to bring guns to class. Those not in favor of this argue that mental health programs are better deterrents to mass shootings, and all armed personnel should remain outside of the classroom. So DBL Nation, simple question, complicated answer. Should teachers be able to bring guns to class?
Okay, Dottie from Twitter says yes, as long as they have a legit background check and they don't have past mental health issues. And I agree, there's going to be 140 hours of training for each of these teachers, which maybe is enough. I'm not really sure about how much you would need, but I think it's an answer to the Parkland shooting, and I'm just glad that people are doing something, whether you agree or disagree.
When are they supposed to do that 140 hours, do you think?
Yeah, I guess that would be on their free time, which they're not getting paid for.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly.
Good plan.
Keep
All right.
Yep.
Tom from Facebook says, no. Will students 18 years old and older be able to start carrying guns to school too? Tom, no, absolutely not, because they're students. They're not an authoritative figure. When it comes to this, it's kind of what Lindsay alluded to. The teachers are saying, since we don't have an answer to gun control right now, they just want some sort of extra protection.
Yeah.
My sister-in-law, she said that she would pull my nieces and nephews out of a school that allowed this law to pass.
Yeah, all right. Let's get to this. Don from Facebook says, why not? 1 in 5 resource officers says their school is not prepared to handle an active shooter. I never thought we'd have to have that statistic up here. I mean, it makes me so sad. I mean, I think we all in America, we watch too many movies, too many TV shows where, like, you know, some regular person gets fed up, takes somebody's gun and does a barrel roll and fires 3 shots at the bad guys. That's not what's going to happen in real life. What's going to happen is some well-meaning teacher is going to take a shot and they're going to miss and they're going to kill an innocent kid. Trained police officers have a very low rate of actually connecting with their targets, much less a civilian that we've asked to do 140 hours of pro bono training to then crossfire with somebody that also has a gun, with also middle school and high school kids running in between. How could that work out well?
Why wouldn't the shooter just take out the teacher, which makes them even bigger targets, which scares me?
Yes.
Barb from Facebook says, why spend the money training and arming teachers when you could instead put the money towards professional security? If we're actually trying to make progress, this seems like the route to take.
Yeah.
Look, I am so against this, I get real peeved here. More guns equals more bullets, which equals more deaths. It is statistically proven. You can try and debunk me, and it will not work. Here's the deal. I understand we're trying to do something. You don't pay your teachers enough, and now you want to put the security in their hands. Teachers, write me in. This is crazy, in my opinion.
It's
crazy.
just so disrespectful to their time. It's like, I won't pay you, but I'm going to give you.
Websites
yes,
to pay for the
I'm going to give you,
a gun.
the biggest task ever, which is have a firearm in your classroom.
And become a target.
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, I don't either. But let me know if you disagree with me. You know what I mean? Yesterday, we told you about a homeless woman singing opera in the subway. Now we have a beautiful update on her. Raquel, what's going on?
Well, Tori, less than 24 hours after becoming a viral sensation, Emily Zamorka's opera performance in a subway has landed her a job. She's been invited to perform at the Little Italy opening in Los Angeles, and a council member in that district is working on finding her long-term housing. The 52-year-old from Russia says she became homeless after her violin was destroyed while performing outside. And now a GoFundMe has raised more than $30,000 for this talented musician, and she calls her overnight fame a miracle.
Wow, she said she prayed really, really hard, and I'm really, really happy for her. She deserves that.
It's like the movie The Soloist with Jamie Foxx and Robert Downey Jr.
Like that. And a policeman took that video because he was so moved by it. Beautiful. All right, coming up on DBL, sometimes you just need to let off a little steam, am I right? Well, our own angry Jeff Schroeder tries out one of those rage rooms. Yeah, looking good. It's coming up next.
Hey guys, welcome back to Beauty Blast. I'm Jeray Banks, or you can find me at Jeray for the Slay on any social media platform. Today, we're speaking about spot treatment versus slathering products all over your skin. This is very important because a lot of people suffer from different things like acne, over texture in the skin, hyperpigmentation in your skin, and the list goes onward and forward. I think I just made that up. It's cool though. However, with any of these type of symptoms in your skin, and when you're trying to correct these, you actually want to take a step back and not just slather them all over your skin. I know, it sounds like a good idea. If I'm breaking out, I should put this breakout product all over my skin so I don't break out in the future. You're wrong, honey. You actually want to use spot treatment for a lot of these, especially for something like acne, hyperpigmentation, or maybe even redness or anti-aging and wrinkles in the skin. Now, acne, for instance, that's a big one for a lot of people. You want to utilize your products or your serum treatments in those specific areas that you're breaking out. So let's say you're breaking out along your nose area and in your forehead. You want to keep your salicylic serums or anything of that nature in those areas because you may be at risk to over-dry the rest of your skin. Now, I find that this helps a lot of my clients when they're going through some rough times of the year, especially when you're looking at times right after summer like we're experiencing now, where you might have seen some sun damage happen. Now, if your sun damage isn't happening all over your face, make sure once again that you're being selective on where you're placing your anti-sun damage or your vitamin C products so that you're not over brightening all over your skin and you're keeping those areas selective to where they need to be so they can really do the job they need to. Now, if you guys have more beauty questions, make sure to write me at Jure for the Slay at any point in the show and I'm sure to get back to you.
Welcome back to DBL. Now, sometimes our DBL co-host Jeff Schroeder can let his societal rage get the best of him. If you don't know what I mean, check this out.
Like, do you have no social compass at all of what's going on in life? If you do, it should be legal to cattle prod them. So long later, friendly skies, because there's no such thing.
Like a child.
All right, that was 4 insults, and I already said I'd shut up. I'm just thinking of my mom right now. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Okay. Mom, I'm being quiet for you. Papa.
After watching that, I think we can all agree that life can be a bit challenging, and sometimes we just need to let off some steam. So, check out this unique way he found to smash out some stress.
What's up, man? I'm Jeff. Sorry I'm late. Dude, traffic, you know.
Oh, no worries. My name's Drew. Welcome to Smash It. Let's get you suited up, get you some tools to go break some stuff, get rid of that anger.
Yeah, you have no idea, Drew.
Smash Room is a place where you can go safely let out some aggression. You know, some people, it's a great stress relief. They're able to kind of get whatever's frustrating them out. Generally speaking, people who come in angry leave laughing.
Hey, Jeff, do you want to go out to eat and eat a $50 steak and a $100 bottle of wine for absolutely no reason? Sure, why not? You don't like what I have to say on TV? You think my hair's too gray? I'm too old? How about this? This is for people who do not like pumpkin spice lattes. Just look at that. Feels good. Feels good. I feel like I just went to a spa. I would definitely recommend this to others. This is the kind of therapy that works for me. So if you're like me, hit a Smash Room.
Oh, it works, Jeff? Ah, that felt good. We'll be right back.
Alison Brie, my spirit animal. Welcome to Daily Blast Live. I am so excited to talk to you about Glow.
Live from the Fantan Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada, it's Glow, the gorgeous ladies of wrestling.
Because it's all about girl power, and I want people to know you do your own stunts mostly. So I want you to talk about that, and did any go seriously wrong?
Ooh, we've had a rolled ankle, and we've had a concussion. I have not been injured, knock on wood. But yes, we do our own stunts on the show, and this is something from the very beginning when we were auditioning. It's been like a real steep learning curve, and everybody's been so game for all of it.
Okay, let's just call it out. It's 80s times 10. Do you have a favorite outfit or favorite piece of clothing that makes you feel like Ruth?
I think Ruth's jeans.
Okay.
Ruth has one pair of jeans in 3 seasons of the show. They're like a high-waisted jean.
Love 'em.
Marc Maron hates them.
I love Mark.
And maybe that's why I love them so much.
Now, I read that the people behind Glow were not convinced that you were the right person to play Ruth. So what's up with that?
It's true.
That's crazy.
Well, Ruth was written as a very unconventional woman.
Okay.
And I think that they had some preconceived notions about who I was. And I certainly fought for the role. I had to audition many times. I really showed them my soul. I bared it all. And I'm glad I did.
I'm glad you had to fight for the right to glow. I'm very proud of you, Alison. Very good job. I want to ask about your little hubby, Dave Franco. You two worked together on an upcoming movie, and recently you mentioned it was hard not to call him honey on set. So what's it like working with him? Is it fun?
It is awesome.
Oh,
it is
that's good
awesome,
to
and it is
hear.
so fun. It's just like getting to be on set with my best friend, with my person every day. I definitely did not avoid calling him honey and babe. He gave me permission.
That's good. I appreciate that. I'm a stand-up comic and a comedy actress, or tried to be, and then I became a host. I just wanted to let people know, we always talk about it's not an overnight success for anything. We all work for that. How did you get to where you are?
Oh gosh, I mean, it's taken years and years and constant work, and it never ends.
Right,
I think is
right.
the message I want to tell people.
Right.
But you know, I've worked as a clown for kids' birthday parties. It's all about perseverance. It's a perseverance game, and you have to just keep going.
Keep going, keep glowing. I appreciate your time. Season 3 of Glow is on Netflix now. Thank you so much, Alison. Way to be a smart, funny woman in today's world.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Thank you.
Welcome back to DBL. Today is the start of National Breast Cancer Awareness Month in the U.S. 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with this terrible disease in their lifetime. So we want to take a moment to promote the importance of screenings and early detection. And when I mean screenings and detection, it means I want you to actually feel yourself, feel if you have a bump. Let's get real about it. It's Breast Cancer Month. I'm going to be open about it all month. The website nationalbreastcancer.org is a great resource for people looking for more information and for those who just want to join the fight against breast cancer. So again, this is all month, and I think here on DBL, we all know someone that knows someone with breast cancer. This is one of the most easily detectable cancers, and therefore every month, set an alarm, guys, men and women. Just do a quick touch.
You know, we don't have a lot of time, but one thing I always tell my kids is no one's ever regretted going with their instincts, and if you're touching yourself and you feel something, just go to the doctor.
That's it.
You'll never be mad for following your instincts.
You're absolutely
just check
right,
it out.
guys. All right, we'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Have a good day, guys.
Hi guys, Kelly Schubert here with the DBL digital team. I'm tracking all the breaking and trending news, but right now I want to tell you about a veteran. His name is Edward K. Oh gosh, we've got an ad coming up. His name is Edward K. Pearson. He's a veteran from Naples, Florida, and he actually died recently, and he had no family around him. So a funeral home there in Naples decided that they were going to have a funeral for him for free, and they invited the entire public to come. So I don't exactly know how many people are there at the funerals today, but I am going to check to see if we can get an idea of how many people showed up. Thousands of people, I'm sure. They invited the whole community, which is really great. A veteran, he served for our country, and he didn't have any family. It's really sad to think about that. But what's happy is that we can think about, as he was laid to rest, he was surrounded by a lot of people who showed up for him, and that's really the biggest thing, because he showed up for us fighting for our country. So you guys, I just want to tell you about that story. We've got a lot of other good stories coming up in the show today, and I definitely want to know your DBL take on our fifth host. It is kind of a controversial one. Do you think teachers should be armed with guns? Please give us your DBL take and don't hesitate to be open. Let's always be respectful of each other's opinions, but please be open with us and give us your true and honest opinion. All right, guys, we've got a great show coming up for you. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.
Today on Daily Blast Live.
An airport catering cart spinning out of control. A terrifying bridge collapse. The stories behind these crazy new videos. Then, teachers turning to sugar daddy dating sites, how much money they're making to supplement low salaries. Plus, Amy Schumer gives a shout out to Jessica Simpson about her own post-baby weight loss. Wait until you hear Jessica's hilarious response. And a comedian loses her feet, but gains her dream career. How telling jokes has helped her heal from a horrific accident.
When you win a treadmill on TV, but you have no feet.
Well, I guess we know it's not rigged.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. It is Tuesday, October 1st. I'm here with Erica, Jeff, Al, and I'm Sam. So before we get into it, now that it's October 1st, you finally get to drink your pumpkin spice latte.
Oh, it's a full go.
Wait, are the decorations up?
No, after Halloween.
No, Halloween decorations.
No, we don't do those.
Oh.
He goes right to his Christmas decorations.
All right, I feel you, brother.
I don't mess around with turkeys and pumpkin. Actually, I do. Yeah. Let's move on.
Okay, we're gonna move on. Let's begin with some breaking news. Former Dallas cop Amber Geiger was found guilty of murder in the shooting death of her neighbor, Botham Jean. Geiger said she had mistakenly entered his apartment, thinking it was her own, and then shot him dead in 2018. The jury in the case deliberated for less than 2 days, ultimately rejecting her self-defense claims. She faces a prison sentence of 5 to 99 years. And here is what the attorney for Botham Jean's family is saying.
This is a huge victory, not only for the family of Botham Jean, but as his mother Alison told me a moment ago, this is a victory for black people in America. It's a signal that the tide is going to change here.
Yeah, I think many people were fearful that Botham Jean would not get justice. After hearing that the jury deliberated for 2 days, Erica, and after seeing the whole trial on in the media, did you anticipate for her to have a guilty plea?
Honestly, for the first time, I did. When I looked at Botham, I saw my brother Aaron. When I looked at Botham, I saw Al. Guys who, in some places, are seen as a threat when you know that they're the most kind-hearted people and would never do anything
when they're sitting on their couch eating ice cream.
Exactly. But it doesn't matter in this world what they're doing. It's just the fact that they're there. And when I heard about the plea of self-defense, that really angered me because now you're slandering his name even after his death. And I thought if she was really that empathetic or that upset about it, why not throw herself at the mercy of the court as opposed to trying to plead a case that's simply unpleadable? So I'm not surprised by this verdict, and I hope that the people who helped her in the beginning also are aware of what's happening too, because you're not going to use an antiquated method of coming up with something and hoping that that just flies, because I really believe that that's exactly what happened, and she was given really bad advice.
Yeah, I mean, I was just in Dallas last week, and I was there actually at the State Fair when she took the stand. So I was with our people down there at FAA and just kind of talked to them about the vibe of the city. And
what did they think?
Well, it's you know, I got a chance to talk to my Lyft driver going there. It's what everybody was talking about, and I think it was. We were all worried that the precedent was going to be set, that somebody could walk into your home, shoot you dead, and walk out and be exonerated. And we finally see that that did not happen. And I think what also hurt her, I don't know if you guys saw the footage that she did not really perform CPR on him, which is standard for a police officer. And also the thing is, she's saying I was startled, I was scared for my life. you have a gun with you, not because we hand guns to every 12 people in line. You've trained for this. You're a special human being that we've deputized you to carry this gun. And if that's as willy-nilly as you're going to fire it off because you go to the wrong apartment, apparently sober, of clear mind and thought, then you need to pay a price for that. And I think we saw that.
When you say we, Al, real quickly, I know we're going to move on here. When you say we, do you mean the black community? Is that when you say we? Because to me, it was just justice.
Right.
And I get where you're coming from with the black community. I'm not trying to turn the spotlight on that.
No, yeah.
But it was justice. This person was wrong. I don't care who that person was sitting on the couch. But when you say we, and then I see that attorney talk, they're talking about the black community.
I think what he was talking about, like you look at the Freddie Gray case, the young man that was killed in Baltimore by the police officers. They also were found guilty, but I don't know if any of the officers served any time. The guy that strangled Eric Garner to death on the street was working for 5 years.
You're not used to seeing justice.
So we're just not expecting to see it.
I asked you that because I think it's important that you clear that up. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people are like, that's justice, but I see where you guys are coming from. We just don't want to see that precedent.
Right. Yes, definitely.
Prayers to his family, though.
Yes.
I know that they are still recovering for the loss of their incredible son. Well, now we have some crazy video. You got to see this. Check it out. A catering cart was spinning out of control at the Chicago airport yesterday. Authorities say the accelerator got stuck, and as it spins around, the cart keeps getting closer and closer to the plane. Finally, a quick-thinking American Airlines employee jumps on a baggage cart, saves the day. And even, look at that,
nice.
Boom.
That was nice.
Even the president is responding, tweeting, great job, just in time. That's like something you would see in a cartoon, right?
I'm just like, who got to clean up those mini bottles? I'd have been like, I'll clean this up. Yoink.
I think it's a great idea. I'd be like, I'm going to go get that thing and smash it right into that cart. I think it'd be fun.
You would have been
it's a win-win.
Yeah. Perfect for Jeff.
Mr. Smash Room.
More unbelievable video. A bridge in Taiwan collapsed today. And the whole thing is caught on camera. And in case you missed it, wow. An oil tanker that was trying to cross fell right onto boats below. At least 12 people were hurt. 2 bodies have been recovered. And they're still trying to figure out why the bridge collapsed. I think this is everyone's worst fear. When you go on a bridge, you think of these things. At least I do.
Well, especially after Minneapolis.
Right.
I mean, you watch that, and that's like every city in America. And you know that our infrastructure is very shoddy. I mean, honestly,
I'm not even in this country. A D.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot, and I'm not trying to be political about it, but we're talking about building walls. Like, can we get like I-94 finished? You know, like there's so much construction that needs to be prioritized because it is a danger to the community.
And let me ask both of you guys, wouldn't you think that infrastructure would be the #1 thing of every candidate? Because guaranteed everybody's going to be behind safe bridges, and it's going to put so many people to work for a long time. I'm surprised it's not a bigger deal and like a thing that every candidate uses. Like, I'm going to get America back to work by rebuilding this country.
I don't mean to start conspiracy theories here or anything like that, but I think a lot of these big jobs go to certain companies for a particular reason.
I don't think that's a conspiracy theory.
And I think a lot of them try to cut back on materials and what could make that infrastructure stronger to make more money. So that's just my little.
Always about money.
That's my little mafia opinion for you.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
Sick of it. What do we always say? Money out of politics, huh?
Yeah. There we go.
You know,
I was like, is that what you always say?
I was like, were we planning on getting that tattoo?
I've been hanging out with Jeff too much. I even had like an Italian.
What was that?
I don't know. All right, Jeff. DBL's Live. Coming up, it's the wedding of the season. Justin Bieber and Hailey Baldwin tie the knot, and we've got all the hot details. Then, when life threw her a curveball, comedian Danielle Perez worked even harder to pursue her dream. She's live in our studio and sharing her empowering story with DBL Nation. And you, the viewer, you're our 5th host, so should teachers be allowed to carry guns in the classroom? It's a simple question, but the answer can be complicated. Your comments, they're coming in. I'm reading them as we speak. They're coming up next.
Hey guys, Kelly Schubert here with the DBL Digital team. I'm tracking all the breaking and trending news, and that includes the Amber Geiger sentencing phase. I am watching our WFAA, our Dallas station there. I'm watching their live feed now. They are still in recess, but the sentencing phase will begin soon, and we will hear Botham Jean's family testify, give their victim impact statements. So I'll be tracking that, and we'll bring you any new information on that. But let's go to the desk and see what's going on. Hey guys, what's happening up here?
But we just don't have time for it.
Yeah, that's cool.
So we have a really great guest coming up in another block. We have fifth host next. A lot of you have been chiming in, so it looks like it's going to be another polarizing fifth host, which typically is what our fifth host is all about. But our guest coming up is someone that you know and also performing with tonight or tomorrow night?
Yeah, we're going to do a show tonight. Yep. Yeah, she's going back to LA, but we met in LA, actually in Hollywood. We were doing a show.
When?
Man, this must have been 7 years ago.
Okay.
Time flies. We were just talking about that show, but it was there's shows everywhere in LA. There's shows in restaurants, laundromats. There's shows everywhere. We were both kind of. I was a little bit further in my career because she was just starting out. And we were doing it at a place called Spitz, the place that used to sell those kebabs. There were two of them. Spitz with a Z. Yes, they had a comedy show in there.
How funny.
Run by my girl Katie. And so we did a show there, and then we used to do a show in the Hollywood Room. But I've just known her forever, and I've just watched her career, just like obviously Jimmy Kimmel, and she had an article in Forbes about her. Like, she's doing so well. But
she came onto the scene fast and furious.
Yes, she's awesome and just like a great spirit. You guys are.
Cool.
I'm glad you guys get a chance to meet her.
Yeah, you'll get to know her. We're going to interview her in right after this block, fifth host. Stay tuned. Welcome back to DBL. It is time for Fifth Host, when we talk about what you're talking about. Today, some students in Florida will be entering classrooms with armed teachers. Now, more than a year after the Parkland shooting, a new law allows some teachers to bring guns to class. Those not in favor of this argue that mental health programs are a better deterrent to mass shootings and that all armed personnel should remain outside of the classroom. So, DBL Nation, should teachers be able to bring guns into the classroom? You guys are definitely heated. Take it away, Erica.
Jordan from Facebook says, as a teacher, I see nothing good about teachers having guns at school. We need our students to feel safe and secure. How can they feel safe if the schools are full of weapons? Jordan, I totally understand your position. I do think it is important to extend mental health education as well as the idea that it needs to be talked about in schools. But I am actually not opposed to having guns in schools. I think that it's really important that people don't know who has them or if they have them, and that they're not readily accessible. But in the event of a tragedy, I would rather have someone who at least have a good guy in the room.
Bobby from Facebook says, only with extensive training, there is absolutely no reason for them to be armed if they are not properly trained. A teacher's aide in Oklahoma lost her firearm on school grounds.
Yes.
I'm with you on this one, Bobby. I totally think they need to be trained. I'm for having guns in school. Listen, the government's not doing anything. It's time as citizens we step up, properly trained. After 9/11, I wanted an air marshal on that flight. I didn't know if he was on that flight, but I would have felt safer knowing that. If a school shooter decides to shoot up a school not knowing which teacher is armed, that might be a deterrent, and I'm all for it.
All right. Yeah, my only thing with that, Jeff, is I'm just like, who's going to pay for these teachers to train?
I think some people might just step up. They have their summers off.
What if it's someone that has a George Zimmerman mentality? Not just, believe me, I love our teachers. Our teachers are incredible. There is a select few who I would not want to have a gun.
Yeah.
I would not want them to.
The reality is, though, there are concealed carry states all over this country. You don't know who's packing.
That's right.
I just think it's a deterrent, even if there is no teachers with guns. The fact that there might be is
almost like the air marshal on the plane, almost.
Right.
Okay. All right, let's get to this really quickly. Deanna from Facebook says no if they want the responsibility of carrying and securing a firearm on top of their already demanding jobs. Deanna is somebody that taught middle school for 5 years and was barely keeping my head above water. I couldn't imagine also being given the responsibility of handling a firearm, but I hadn't thought about that. Maybe there are some teachers that are pre-trained and want to step up, and so if they're willing to do it, I guess this is where we are. I guess this is where we are. What do you say, Sam?
I know.
I guess this is where we are.
2 years ago, I would say absolutely not.
But
now in 2019, I'm like, okay, if anything can be a deterrent, but I also know statistically, more bullets, more guns equal more deaths.
Right.
So it's tough.
It's unpleasant.
But I want answers, just like all of you do. So yeah, I'm divided on this, and I think many of our DBL Nation are as well. Thank you for writing in. Coming up on DBL, do men really mature slower than women? The new study that proves it once and for all. And next, we talk live with comedian Danielle Perez.
Danny.
How she turned heartache to hope with a lot of laughs along the way. Do not miss this powerful interview. Danielle Perez coming up next.
Are you?
Well, I'll do it. We on? We live? What's up, DBL Nation? I have to grab the iPad to get to you all's comments. Yes, we have a real father right here, and we're gonna continue with the fifth host.
Yeah, I thought you would.
So first, you got to understand that there's only going to be selective teachers. It's not going to be like a 58-year-old teacher with a gun.
Totally, and I want them to understand that.
And I want you all to understand that as well. They're going to pick select teachers, and the teachers will remain anonymous. And that the teachers have to go through a certain hour of training and
I think 140 hours.
140
That's a lot of hours.
Psychological background check, that sort of thing. And I'm saying, and which a lot of teachers are saying, that since we're all up in arms, no pun intended, about gun control, what we should do, teachers are saying this is a last resort. This is a protection measure because remember that PSA for Sandy Hook that we watched, and there's a scene that they end on, and the little girl's in the bathroom, and she's like, phones would be great for the mom, and then you hear this footsteps of the shooter. That's what I'm saying to have them for. Just for a last resort.
That's why I like it, because when you're in that position, I would imagine, I can't put myself in the mind of a psychopath, but when you're in that position, you have complete power. Yes. 100% power. Not knowing where the guns are or who has one takes away a little bit of that power.
Yeah.
And even if there are no guns, just the thought of it might take away a little bit of that power.
And I don't want them to get on in a shootout, but like you said, it may deter them. DBL Nation, keep writing in. We've got an exclusive coming up. Danielle Perez is in the house.
Welcome back to DBL. Now, we've all heard the term laughter is the best form of medicine. For one comedian, she had no idea how much she needed that. Till life threw her a curveball. Meet my friend, my girl, fellow comedian, Danielle Perez.
Danielle Perez was made for comedy.
I am a party girl. I was out at the club recently, popping bottles, popping wheelies, as you do.
But that was never part of her plan. Her life changed at just 20 years old. Danielle was crossing the street in San Francisco when she was hit by a streetcar. Her legs were amputated below the knee, and she spent the next month in the hospital recovering. Danielle struggled with depression and getting her life on track, until she started doing stand-up at open mic nights.
Honestly, I haven't seen acts of treason this flagrant since Kelly referred to herself as the second lead singer of Destiny's Child.
Her big break was in 2015, when she ironically won a treadmill on The Price is Right. Her reaction went viral, and she soon started gaining popularity with appearances on major TV shows like Jimmy Kimmel.
It's gonna be, I'm gonna cast it in bronze and have it as a trophy to my network television debut.
She uses comedy to share her story, but in return, it's helped her heal by finding her strength. Danielle is now a full comedian on tour and an advocate for disability rights, teaching people that her differences are actually her strengths.
10,000 hours ain't enough for the goal.
Yes.
All right. Yes, and joining us now, my friend, fellow comedian, Danielle Perez.
Woo woo.
Danielle, you are an example of making the best out of a bad situation. Welcome to Denver, first of all.
Thank you for having
How's the city
me.
treating you? We like it here.
I like Denver. Denver's great. Getting here was a big old pain, though.
Yes, I saw you edit yourself there, too. Good job.
I did.
That's my girl.
The spicy girl. But, the wheelchair airports, that's long roads, lots of travel. I hitched a ride on one of the little go-karts.
Yeah.
Nice. To get here a little
And
bit
you were here
quicker.
for the High Plains Festival, the comedy festival, right?
The last night.
That's right. All right, my girl.
And you
All
had
right.
a really big year touring with Maria Bamford, which is awesome. What I want to talk to you about, first of all, your resiliency is so inspiring. So I'm just really honored to be sitting right next to you.
Now, I'm just sitting because Al was standing earlier and I was like standing really
Yes, it's going to be.
It's
I'm going to let you know who runs this.
Talk to us about that moment in 2015, your big break, Price is Right. How were you able to take that into a viral moment, capitalize on it, and do people still recognize you just from that episode?
Oh, well, I mean, it was just so ridiculous. Like, you can't write or script that. It's crazy. I was so shocked that everyone else was acting like it was business as usual. I'm like, this is pretty nuts. This isn't normal. But, I mean, yeah, people still recognize me. I was out at a bar recently, and a guy was like, were you on The Price is Right? That was 5 years ago.
Well, you're a light that people remember, absolutely.
Yes.
So Danielle, when you're doing comedy, you're not just talking about your disability. You're also a strong, independent Latina woman.
Yeah, she don't need no man.
That's right.
Unless there are 3 flights of stairs.
I was going to ask what's the audience reaction, but I think we get what the audience reaction is. How does the audience receive you?
They laugh. I'm normalizing my body and my life experience, and I think that if we can all laugh at something, we can understand it. And you don't see women like me on stage joking a lot, but you can see me and you can laugh and you're like, all right, I get it. She's kind of wild. She's a little crazy.
Yeah.
We're all kind of wild and crazy.
I think it's healing and cathartic too, just like watching you. What are your future goals? What's next for you? I'm sure your fans out there and our DBL viewers want to know.
Oh, doing everything, writing, acting, being on TV, taking Al's job here.
See, this is why I said one segment and she goes. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, well, if speaking of future goals, you can see us tonight in the future. Yes, catch us at Oscar Blues in the Buzzard Room. We're going to do my girl Janae Bursa's show at 9:30 tonight, right here in Denver, Colorado. So come out and catch her before she vanishes back to LA. So come see her tonight.
Yes.
Are you going to come back?
I will come back.
Yeah, she's going to take your job.
I'll be back.
I'm just like, I'm trying, because you're staying with me again.
Yeah.
All right, no hotels. That's where we are right now. Your
No, I love it.
family.
He's got a view of the mountains.
Yes, you're DBL family, so you're here.
Hell yeah.
Thanks, girl. I love you.
Thank you. This is fun, you guys.
It almost seems like an intervention is about to start. Your mom's back there. All right. Well, you can catch us tonight, 9:30 at the Buzzard Room. Thanks, Danielle. We'll be right back.
Here we go. Yeah, everyone's so cute. This is so nice.
Good job, food. Good job, camera crew.
All right, guys, right here.
First time in Denver?
No, second time.
Oh, yeah, you told me your first time was?
I did Crom Fest 3 years ago. It was a baby comic. It no longer exists.
It was a startup comedy festival.
Oh, yes.
And why would they call it Prom Fest? Did it have to do with prom?
No, Crom. C-R-O-M.
Okay, I heard prom too.
I was like,
Can you
boy.
Daniel, please tell them the story you told me about who you were staying with.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I stayed. One of my friends, they were like, oh, stay with this guy. He's disabled. He lives in Denver. The place will be accessible. I get to the airport. He picks me up. This little guy just jumps out of his Dodge Ram and he's like in a wheelchair, but he's like a mountain man. You know what I mean? Just zip, zip, zip car. And it's like, I'm a city girl. All right, these are city wheels. I did not bring my mountain bike tires. His place had a gravel pit, just a wide gravel pit to his place, and he would pop a wheelie and do it all to get out of his house. I'm like, I can't do it. That's not
not
for
in
me.
the same.
Sounds like welcome to the city.
Very Colorado.
It was really,
Very
and he lived in Golden. I was like, this isn't Denver.
Oh, have you been to Golden? So you went.
I went there. Went to Golden. I was like, this isn't. I feel like
very cowboy.
It was just like a cabin, and I be murdered here by all the spiders.
And before we go any further, tell everybody where they can find you, Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff.
Yes, find me online at Diva Deluxe, Noe at the end, on Twitter and Instagram, and all my dates are at thedanielleperez.com.
Where are you going next? So I know you're going back to LA.
Yeah, I'm going to be back in LA. I'm actually doing Roxanne Gay's podcast, Here to Slay.
How exciting.
It's going to be live at the Ace Theater in downtown LA.
The Ace Theater's amazing.
Yes.
That's an old school theater.
Yeah, and it's gorgeous. And Ashley Nicole Black from A Black Lady Sketch Show is going to be on it.
My girl Ray writes on that. Do you know Ray?
Oh, yeah, Ray Sunny.
Yeah,
yes.
that's my girl from New York.
Oh, yes. And Tashina Arnold's going to be on there.
Yes, we interviewed her. She's super cool.
Oh, yeah. She's amazing. I'm so excited. I can't wait. It's going to be really awesome. Yeah. So Thursday.
Make sure you keep up with her. She has a lot of exciting things coming up. So visit her website, her social handles, and everything.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Welcome back to DBL. So if many of you, I'm sure, ever wonder what it's like to be Kim and Kanye, I experienced it firsthand in New York City when we went out to lunch. So let me just show you, and then I'll backtrack. Look at their view as they come out. So this is us leaving the restaurant. Now, these are all the people waiting for them. Now, I mean dozens deep, security guards, paparazzi, and I have to tell you, and the reason why I'm showing you this, it blew my mind. I finally saw Kim Kardashian as somebody that I really felt bad for.
I was going to say like an empathetic
zoo
figure.
animal, a complete zoo animal. Everybody's staring at her. I do not think that she called the paparazzi here because you could see it slowly building. It wasn't like they all knew she was there. And just having like this, I mean, she's trying to be with her kids, trying to have lunch. They just came back from Sunday service and it was pure chaos. I don't think anybody could live that way. The only other celebrity I can imagine this happens to, because most celebrities, whether it be George Clooney, Jack Nicholson, they put on a hat, they can duck in and they can duck out. I feel like your boy, Justin Bieber, and Kim Kardashian, they cannot live their life any other way but with pure chaos.
Yeah,
Isn't that insane?
I don't know how people do it, and I mean, for her to maintain some semblance of a normal life, it seems like she's a well-adjusted mom, at least. You know,
she did not look like she looked uncomfortable in her own
How
skin.
could you not be?
Every single day.
How could you not be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to share that with you because it gave me a whole new perspective.
I think people should think about that before they crowd celebrities and just understand that they might just be with their kids and they might just be trying to eat. And a stranger approaching you when you're trying to eat is it's a weird thing.
And I saw it happen constantly.
Right.
People in this restaurant were constantly going up to her and her family, and it was really uncomfortable. No. So anyways, cool little bird's eye view. Here's what's coming up next on DBL.
From one new mom to another, Amy Schumer shouts out Jessica Simpson on social media, why the internet is cracking up. Then, does science really prove women mature faster than men? I think we cracked the code. And wedding bells for the Biebers. We've got the lowdown on the celebrity wedding of the season when DBL comes back.
Hey guys, welcome back to Beauty Blast. I'm Jeray Banks, or you can find me at Jeray for the Slay on any social media platform. Today, we're speaking about spot treatment versus slathering products all over your skin. This is very important because a lot of people suffer from different things like acne, over texture in the skin, hyperpigmentation in your skin, and the list goes onward and forward. I think I just made that up. It's cool though. However, with any of these type of symptoms in your skin, and when you're trying to correct these, you actually want to take a step back and not just slather them all over your skin. I know, it sounds like a good idea. If I'm breaking out, I should put this breakout product all over my skin so I don't break out in the future. You're wrong, honey. You actually want to use spot treatment for a lot of these, especially for something like acne, hyperpigmentation, or maybe even redness or anti-aging and wrinkles in the skin. Now, acne, for instance, that's a big one for a lot of people. You want to utilize your products or your serum treatments in those specific areas that you're breaking out. So let's say you're breaking out along your nose area and in your forehead. You want to keep your salicylic serums or anything of that nature in those areas because you may be at risk to over-dry the rest of your skin. Now, I find that this helps a lot of my clients when they're going through some rough times of the year, especially when you're looking at times right after summer like we're experiencing now, where you might have seen some sun damage happen. Now, if your sun damage isn't happening all over your face, make sure once again that you're being selective on where you're placing your anti-sun damage or your vitamin C products so that you're not over brightening all over your skin and you're keeping those areas selective to where they need to be so they can really do the job they need to. Now, if you guys have more beauty questions, make sure to write me at Jure for the Slay at any point in the show, and I'm sure to get back to you if I'm here. I mean, I work here, I guess, so I'm always here. Let's go.
Is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. We are live. Let's get started. Well, Amy Schumer gave birth to a baby boy in May, but she's in no rush to drop the weight. She posted this photo with her sister saying, "Okay, Simpson, I've lost 10 pounds and $100 to my sister playing poker." She's referring to Jessica, who recently lost 100 pounds since welcoming her daughter. She replied to Amy, Jessica did, saying, "You're hot. Size only matters when it comes to men."
That's funny. That's legitimately funny.
Wow, I was going to give them props till that last crack.
I'm just happy they're having the conversation about it because I think women do feel this unnecessary pressure to lose that baby weight as fast as you can. And I love that Jessica has her position, right? And kudos to her. As you brought up, she was shamed for gaining too much weight, according to people, which is a shame that people even have to judge her. But then you see Amy Schumer being like, "I'm in no rush." And that's the conversation that should be had. You shouldn't be shamed if you're in no rush, and you shouldn't be shamed if you want to jumpstart your diet, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a mom, but I do think that we kind of apply things to our lives as we are most sensitive to. So I can understand why people, I mean, I certainly do. When someone says something disparaging about something that I feel sensitive about, then I automatically apply it to me. I'm not that person. Most people aren't Jessica Simpson. So I can understand someone who created $1 billion empire off of fat shaming wanting to say, "Hey, look at me, this is what I did."
How do you think Amy Schumer handled it?
Good. I mean, Amy Schumer's being Amy Schumer. She's joking around.
Sorry.
No, bless you.
Excuse me. Thank you.
She's joking around. You know how it is. And then she's getting her name out there as well in a positive way. I think it's good of Amy Schumer to do that. That's her.
Right. And
that's your girl.
Yes.
She handles
I've known
everything with
Amy
ease.
forever,
Yep.
but she's always been super honest. And like I always say, everybody's a sucker for honesty, and that's why her fans love her. No matter what she's going. Remember, she had a rough pregnancy.
Yes.
She posted pictures. They weren't
She has the
doctored
same
or
thing I have,
photoshopped.
hypermesis gravidarum. So my
Tell everybody what that is.
So hypermesis gravidarum.
Doesn't everybody know, Al?
It sounds like a Harry Potter curse.
It does.
Feels like a Harry Potter curse. Mine has subsided. I believe Amy Schumer's and Kate Middleton's went throughout their whole pregnancy. That's where you're throwing up, violently ill, have to go to the hospital for fluids. It is gnarly. I had it for about 3 months, and it was the most debilitating 3 months of my life, and that's the truth. But with Amy and with Kate, they had it throughout their whole pregnancy. I don't know how they did it. She canceled her tour.
Right.
I don't blame her. So, yeah. Anyways, it was I loved their back and forth on Twitter. I think it signified what many people, at least postpartum moms, are going through. The Biebers. Are you ready for this, Jeff?
Oh, yeah.
They finally tied the knot last night. Stephanie Jones, who went to the lavish event?
Well, you guys, it's official. Again, Justin and Hailey wed in a private ceremony in South Carolina. Just look at them. The happy newlyweds went all out with this fancy, bedazzled champagne and gifted themselves a few little things like this sleek leather jacket and watch, which retail for about 60 grand. But social media cannot get enough of the A-list guests that attended. So Kendall and Kylie Jenner, her baby Stormy, Jaden Smith, plus supermodel Joan Smalls and singer Justine Skye. I mean, I would say this was pretty much a successful celebration. What do you guys think?
Well, Stephanie, they forgot to invite Jeff.
I
I know, Jeff.
I must have got lost in him. I did move from Los Angeles. He probably has my LA address.
And they know that you have
That's
to
what
work.
happened.
They
Yeah.
know Jeff's working.
I didn't forward him my, Denver address.
Jeff,
So
what would you have given as your present if you got, the invite? What would have you taken?
Why don't you tell her the story for Lance Bass?
Oh, that was a bad one. Yeah. I went to, I don't know.
Jeff, you got to tell the story.
Real quickly, I went to Lance Bass's wedding, and I was like, oh, man, let's get him some. I don't even know what I got him, but it was like this big. And
It was like a microwave.
I don't know what it was. It was big. And I brought it in line with me. It was at this fancy hotel. Not one other person brought a gift, and me and Jordan, of course, Jordan made me hold it. I'm standing here. Christina Applegate's behind me. There's like celebrities everywhere, and I walk in. I'm like, where do I put the presents? Like a dope after a half hour. And they're like, you brought a present? I guess put it on that table over there. The only present, the only person who brought a present. So it was a very sensitive issue, so I wouldn't bring anything. That's what I was.
You should re-gift that like old school, like with the bread maker.
It's like Jennifer Grey with I brought the watermelons in Dirty Dancing. It's hilarious.
That was super embarrassing.
Isn't that embarrassing,
And we got out in an Uber in front of everybody.
I think it's very sweet. It's very sweet that, you made the effort. I think that's lovely.
See, that's what
There we go,
Thanks,
Steph.
Exactly.
Thank you, Steph, for the info. We always love hearing it. The fallout from Forever 21's bankruptcy continues. They plan to close about a fourth of their locations, which will impact malls across the country. So we're wondering how you feel. Do you prefer to shop in-store or online? Go to dblvote.com. Let us know. Erica, do you think this is the death of retail?
I don't think it's the death of retail, but I think for a store like Forever 21 with that younger female demographic, those girls are shopping off of Instagram. So it has changed the game. But for someone like me who has just returned 2 pairs of shoes because my feet are completely inconsistent in size, I will be going to stores as much as I possibly can. But it is appreciated that you have the option of shopping online.
And I prefer to shop online. I prefer like the convenience of it. Erica's right though, man. If you get the size wrong, it's such a hassle to have to return.
I don't know why you guys are talking over the men. Men shop online
What do you
as
do?
well.
You shop online?
Jeff, do you buy stuff online?
I do, but you know what? I have to go into the store to get my particular size, and once I know the size and brand, then I could switch over to online.
See, I've had issues. Yes, but I think it might just kind of go back down to shoes because I've tried to buy shirts, and every shirt I get is either it fits in the body or the sleeves are too short or it's way too small. I think just other countries, people's bodies are different. So an extra large in one country is a medium here, or the sleeves don't match up. So a lot of returns.
These sites have gotten savvy now because you can have so many reviews that tell you exactly like similar to your body size and whether or not it runs big, runs small, short in the sleeve. And I think they're just going to get more and more savvy. And I think that will hurt retail jobs, and that's unfortunate. But hopefully, you got a lot of Erica Cobbs out there that will continue to go in person. Make sure she gets the right fit.
I can't. Well, yeah, because apparently my feet are growing for no reason.
Let's see what our DBL Nation has to say. 46% of you do prefer to shop in store. Got it. Well, a lot of teachers have to take second or third jobs to make ends meet. But now we're learning more and more are resorting to sugar daddy dating websites like Seeking Arrangement to pay
Speaking of ends meeting.
The sites allow women to set up mutually beneficial relationships, often with older men, who are willing to pay for companionship. Seeking Arrangement says they have more than 10,000 teachers on their site. Al, as a former teacher, A, does this surprise you? And B, as a parent of 3, would it bother you if you found out that your children's teacher was on a site like this?
Answering your questions in order, A, it does not. Every teacher that I taught with had at least one second job. I taught kind of pre-Uber, so a lot of teachers I worked with did taxes. They donated plasma. I mean, teachers were really hurting. So I'm sure almost every teacher that your kid had has a second job, probably something like Uber, Postmates, something like that. And for this, in terms of do I judge, whatever you do at night is none of my business. I just hope that you come in my kid's classroom refreshed and ready to go. But I think that that's very disingenuous for us to ask our teachers to do when we don't pay them enough to have one job.
How about we pay them more?
So
shouldn't we be more outraged that they're making not enough money?
We're so ready to give them a gun.
When they're educating our kids?
No, I think you're absolutely right. We should be outraged, but until we make education and the custodian of our children more of a priority, then clearly that's not going to happen. And I come from a long line of teachers and educators, so I empathize with this situation. In terms of what they're doing, I think that these are consensual adults making consensual adult decisions. And honestly, we just had a conversation about incels in this country, men who feel like they aren't given a chance with women. If this is what this is, then I feel like there's a cause, a problem, and a solution.
There you go.
I think we need to differentiate what dating means. Are they going out for companionship and they're just being with someone because they're lonely, or what? Are they prostitutes?
I think it depends.
I don't know if you can't use that word.
It depends, though. And both are consensual, but it does depend. I do know one friend in particular that is a part of this seeking arrangement lifestyle, and for her, it is more. All she has to do is go to dinner and be a companion.
Okay,
if she
so
were to
are we
fall
talking
for
about that?
Someone,
so we should separate the two, because if that's what it is,
I don't know about that, dude.
But what if it's both? What if it's consensual? Even if it is.
If you're a prostitute,
yes, we're assuming it's consensual. Like there's no one's being.
Consensual.
Yeah, so we're assuming that.
But you're also paying for sex, which is prostitution.
Yes.
On that end, then I'm like, I don't know if I want them teaching my kids. Is that the end? When times get tough for my child in school, are you going to say, well, you could always prostitute yourself? Or are you going to say you could always pick up a second job, a third job, a fourth job, like my grandfather, like my grandmother, and work hard?
So what if you found out that
I knew this was coming, by the way.
What if you found out that one of your son's teachers got married only because this man was rich? Would you then feel like she can't teach your child?
No, I see what you're saying, but I think that's different. If my son's teacher was sleeping with a dozen men on a weekly basis, I might have a little bit of something to say about it.
What if your son's 25-year-old teacher likes to go out on Saturday nights and have a few drinks and exercise her womanhood?
Listen, I get the point that you're making. Like
For free.
Exercise
giving it away.
Womanhood.
That's cool. Giving it
Exercise her
away.
womanhood.
I get where I'm going with this.
Yes.
But if you're getting paid for sex, you're a prostitute. That's so what I'm saying. If you're going out and doing it on your own, that's not prostitution. That's just having a good time, I guess. I don't know.
I'm just kind of
like, listen,
but I also don't want to
move
slut
on.
shame teachers because they might decide to exercise their womanhood.
But here's the thing. I'm going to get flack and be like, listen, teachers don't make enough money. That's not what I'm talking about. If you want to go out as a companion for somebody, I'm okay with that. If you're a prostitute, I got a problem with that.
There's a moral
and there's so many people online that won't say anything about that. You know what? On Daily Blast Live, I'll tell you the truth.
That's why we love you.
Yeah, I think these are, believe me, there's two sides.
Yes.
For sure there is. For sure there is. But not like, let's not just be like, oh, that's cool. Teachers don't make enough money, so do whatever you want. No, there's other outlets in life. If I had a daughter, I would definitely not steer her down that road. I would do everything in my power to get her away from that road. I'm sorry.
Believe me, I hear you.
I don't think you have to apologize for that.
I think it's a good combo.
Both made good points.
Exercise. I'm going to start using that. I'm exercising my woman.
Yes.
For $200.
Chime in, DBL Nation, chime in. Coming up on DBL, more and more people are going back to work after retiring. The things you need to be aware of before re-entering the workforce. But first, we tackle some of the biggest urban legends around. Your mind will be blown after the next segment, so don't go anywhere.
Deep into that side of the spectrum.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Well, it's illegal until it's not.
Right. It's just. I remember George Carlin had such an interesting bit where he was talking about prostitution, where I have to edit this in my head before I say it. He was saying selling is legal and having sex is legal. So why isn't selling, having sex legal? And it's such a weird, because it's a moral thing. So it doesn't really make sense on paper like a math equation would. But what you're saying makes sense on paper, because as somebody who has worked in the nightlife, because it's not just comedians, it's not just singers. Think about everybody that works in the nightlife. Chefs that work late hours, people that work at nightclubs. Nighttime brings in a different element, and I've lived this for 12 years.
sure.
This is not judgmental. Some of it's fun, some of it is not, but it is a different element than the people that are off work at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It just is. And if you're doing that every night, I find it hard to believe that that is not going to somehow seep into your daytime life. But at the same time, I will always fight for your right to do whatever you want, especially if you have a job where you're not being compensated what I would consider a livable wage. A livable wage. So, like you said, Jeff, I don't think that you have a side on this, and I don't know if I have a side on this, but I see what you're saying, and I see what Kabi is saying, because I don't. What do you do?
I'm being 100% honest. If my friend was a teacher and we were going out to dinner and we both had kids that played with each other, play. Don't take it dirty.
Yes.
So you know what I mean? So and then they're like, I'm like, oh, you're a school teacher? She's like, yeah, no. In my summers, I'm a prostitute. I would be a little taken back.
Yeah. That's not great.
Welcome back to DBL. Remember when an apple a day kept the doctor away, or back when smoking was good for your health? We now know, or we know better now, but there's still a lot of learning left for us all. So today we're going to bust some common myth conceptions. We're calling it, so you want the truth? You can't handle the truth. Let's get started and see if we can handle these truths.
I like your Nicholson.
All right, so our first myth is Halloween related. People poison candy given to kids during trick-or-treating. Rest easy, there are 0 cases of strangers doing this to children. Paranoia over candy handouts spiked in the 80s after 7 people died by taking poison Tylenol. I remember my mom being fearful of that and razor blades and apples.
Right.
Remember that?
Yeah, because the poison Tylenol ended up being tampered with in the actual stores.
Right.
How did that get into
that's where the
Halloween
cotton ball
candy
came
then?
from. The
That's
cotton
in the seal.
But then how did that transfer into better watch out for your Halloween candy?
It probably happened in November. Well, that's how those things happen. Look at the vape story.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Myth number 2, different parts of the tongue detect different flavors. Not true. There are 5 basic tastes: sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and savory, but the entire tongue can pick it all up.
It can.
Ew, Al.
What?
Oh, come on. There is
I studied
an
this.
innuendo in the way you
I
said
studied this, Sam. Wow. I was really
in your 20s?
Yeah. You'd be amazed at the power of the tongues, Jeff. What? It's a strong muscle. Really?
Did it surprise you, Al, that they're not compartmentalized?
No, I didn't. I never thought that they were.
You didn't learn that? That it was a. What's that look,
Don't
Erica?
look at me. Keep me out of it.
All right.
I never knew that was a myth. I've never even heard that before.
Never heard it.
No.
Okay.
Getting off the subject.
Thank you.
Yep.
I think there's another
Thank
one.
you. Next, the belief that Napoleon Bonaparte was short. Am I saying his last name?
Bonaparte.
Bonaparte, sorry, was short is just a tall tale. The statesman was 5'7".
I didn't know that.
That was average height for a Frenchman in the 1800s. So that sucks for him.
Where did the Napoleonic come? No, I refuse to believe it. He's 5'7", like everybody in the NFL is 6'4", okay?
So
they are.
You think he was really like 5'3", but then with lifts?
Right, I think
Lifts.
that
He's battling
these are his
people.
He
stats
could've
for
been wearing
battle.
lifts.
Just like the stats for every athlete. They always add like 2 to 3 inches. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I think he was shorter.
He was about
Back in the day.
5'7's kind of average. I mean, it's
If
a
he
little
really is
small.
fine. Erica might be right though, because back in the day they did wear, like the kings and stuff wore high heels. I've been to, like, if you go to Paris, you can see his apartment. I've been in there and he had real
His
bunny
apartment?
slippers. Yeah, he had real bunny slippers.
Slumming it with his buddy?
Huh? A very fancy apartment.
Okay.
Very. Anyways, he had real bunnies as slippers where he just slid his feet into like these like bunnies carved out, and his feet were tiny. So I always did believe he was tiny. His feet are tiny.
I
He's
feel like
tiny.
you're shaming him.
I'm not.
You keep reinforcing the feet thing.
I reinforce the fact that he put his feet in carved out bunnies. That's bizarre. That's weird, Al.
Well, there was no Macy's. He had to just carve his own shoes.
I don't think he did it. He was very wealthy. He didn't do it.
Yeah, well, then he shouldn't be living in an apartment.
It was a very fancy apartment.
Get a house.
With like gold beds and stuff.
Okay.
Anywho. Myth number 4, dropped food is okay to eat if you pick it up in 5 seconds. Hate to say it, but bacteria will contaminate food once it hits the floor. I've been guilty of this. I've been guilty of it.
Yeah, well, I think this started during the Great Depression. I really do, because think about who told you that. Your grandparents, who were trying to conserve food by taking out cheese and like scraping off the, Big Mama would have us scrape off all the mold and all of that stuff, and she would say, oh, it just touched the ground, you can pick it up, there's no dirt on it, because
5-second
she's
rule.
trying. Yes,
Yep.
I'm telling you.
I'd agree with that.
Me too. All right. So now, would you not eat it?
No, I still would.
I'm still eating it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just ate something weird.
That's the way you
off
build up your immune system.
You just ate something weird off his couch that made him gag.
Did it? What was it?
I don't know.
Disgusting. did, but although I do the same thing, I'm like too lazy to go to the trash can and I'll just eat it.
It's better to fire it across the room. I'm like, I just eat it.
Excuse us, Erica. We're not wasteful.
I'm with Jeff on this one. It's disgusting, though. I hear you, Erica. Yep, coming up on DBL. Oh, I do understand where you're coming from now. It's making me sick. Important advice. If you've retired and going back to work, what you need to know so you're not caught off guard next in Dollars and Cents.
Alison Brie, my spirit animal, welcome to Daily Blast Live. I am so excited to talk to you about Glow.
Live from the Fantan Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada, it's Glow, the gorgeous ladies of wrestling.
Because it's all about girl power, and I want people to know you do your own stunts mostly. So I want you to talk about that. And he goes seriously wrong.
Ooh, we've had a rolled ankle and we've had a concussion. I have not been injured, knock on wood. But yes, we do our own stunts on the show, and this is something from the very beginning when we were auditioning. It's been like a real steep learning curve, and everybody's been so game for all of it.
Okay, let's just call it out. It's 80s times 10. Do you have a favorite outfit or favorite piece of clothing that makes you feel like Ruth?
I think Ruth's jeans.
Okay.
Ruth has one pair of jeans in 3 seasons of the show. They're like a high-waisted jean.
Love them.
Mark Maron hates them.
I love
and
Mark
maybe that's why I love them so much.
Now, I read that the people behind Glow were not convinced that you were the right person to play Ruth. So what's up with that?
It's true.
That's
well,
crazy.
Ruth was written as a very unconventional woman.
Okay.
And I think that they had some preconceived notions about who I was. And I certainly fought for the role. I had to audition many times. I really showed them my soul. I bared it all. And I'm glad I did.
I'm glad you had to fight for the right to glow. I'm very proud of you, Alison. Very good job. I want to ask about your little hubby, Dave Franco. You two worked together on an upcoming movie, and recently you mentioned it was hard not to call him honey on set. So what's it like working with him? Is it fun?
It is awesome.
Oh,
it is
that's
awesome,
good to
and it is
hear.
so fun. It's just like getting to be on set with my best friend, with my person every day. I definitely did not avoid calling him honey and babe. He gave me permission.
That's good. I appreciate that.
Welcome back to Daily Blast Live. Budgetologist Felicia Jones is back in the DBL studio, and we're talking about getting back to work after retirement on today's Dollars and Cents presented by John Hancock. So Felicia, why are we seeing more older women go back to work now?
You know, that's a really good question. And matter of fact, we're seeing over 49% of women going back to work after retirement. And what we're finding is there are a number of reasons. One reason is a lot of women are seeing their retirement incomes deplete faster than they had planned. Others are, they want to get over boredom because they retired and they want something to do.
I see that.
And then there are some who want a new purpose in life.
So not all financial. Some could just be boredom too.
It's not all financial. Some, because we're living longer.
Right.
So you may want to find something else to do. For those who are actually going back to work after retirement, there are a couple of things you have to pay attention to when it comes to your finances. The first one is you've got to pay attention to that Social Security income, because you could see a potential reduction in the income with Social Security.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's happening now.
Yeah, it's based on some of the IRS minimums and things like that. So you have to pay attention to that. Also, your Social Security income could be taxed after you go back to work based on how much you are making.
Wow, I didn't know that one either.
Yeah, that's a really big one. So you have to pay attention to that. And then for those who are actually taking pensions, you actually could get your pension suspended. So that's why you have to pay attention to everything and talk to your financial advisor to get the what if scenario so that you're not missing any money if you go back to retirement. But one of the cool things is you actually have quite a few benefits. Some people go back and get great health benefits.
Right.
Some start businesses or a whole new career.
On the flip side, right? But that's a good thing to double check because you could be missing out on that
You
cash.
definitely could be missing out on some cash.
I love it, Felicia. Great tips today. Thank you so much. To submit your financial questions for the next Dollars and Cents, please email Ask Mrs. Jones at dailyblastlive.com. And for info about life insurance and retirement planning, call John Hancock at 1-800-978-0663. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Bottle helped save a trio who were trapped. They were traveling up to a waterfall and planned to descend with a rope, but the rope wasn't there. When they got creative carving help on a bright green water bottle, which everyone could see, and writing a note inside, here's what they said on Good Morning America.
The first thing on it was the date, and then below it said, "Stuck at waterfall, please send help."
Looked at Hunter and I said, we've done all we can do. You know, now it's just a matter of just waiting to see what happens next and wait for people to come.
Stuff like that only happens in the movies, really. To see like an actual message in a bottle be the reason that someone actually got saved is just mind-blowing to me.
All right, that's an amazing story, for real. If everything happened on there, that's amazing. I do have some problems.
Okay.
I do have some
let's hear your problems.
One, the water bottle.
Yes.
It was found. They were up there 3 days, I believe. Who was going to find a piece of trash and pick it up and say help, then look inside and find out where these people are? Okay, that's fair. That might have happened. Two, if you went down, instead of spending 3 days up there, walking up to a waterfall, why didn't you spend half a day walking back where you came from?
I was wondering the same thing.
You know, I do have some discrepancies.
Well, and the idea that they're experienced, but then the dad said, well, we just, there was no rope, so we're gonna go.
If I was up there with my family and I was up there 3 days, I'd be like, listen, you guys, find some more berries. I'm jumping. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go find some help.
In the water.
You know, I'm not going to be a part of this, but just for the sake of, you know, helping out my fellow coworkers, when's the last time you had a pen when you really needed one?
I know. I know.
Wow. And an order magazine. Where'd she get that?
And also that.
Who brings their order magazine or an order book?
The flow from diners thing? Yeah.
We are all going to hell.
I know. We're bad. It just doesn't smell right.
I will just say, let's benefit it out. It's true. I think it was irresponsible of the dad to take two younger people up there. If you're so dependent on the rope that if the rope is there, then you guys are just on your knees praying to every god you can think of. I think that was a little irresponsible of the dad. Best case scenario.
Yeah.
A message in the bottle's your way out?
He's like, the rope's not here. How'd you like life? Like, what? What? I'd be like, dude, you don't have your phone with you, bro?
That's interesting. Where were the phones? That's interesting.
I still can't get over. Turn around.
I would just like to go on record. You're not going to get this type of honesty on any other daytime show, okay? They're going to turn around John this whole situation.
We're not just going to clap our hands and say, good for them. Let's go to commercial. No.
We're going to take them down.
Absolutely. We are going to make sure they suffer more than they did in the 3 days on top of that molehill.
Exactly.
All right. That was bad. I hope they're all doing fine. It was very traumatic.
Everyone knows men and women develop differently, but a new study says women mature at the age of 32 while men have a little catching up to do. They don't fully mature until they're 43. Do you believe this?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got the science to prove it too, Erica, but why do you believe it?
Well, we have case studies.
We do. So let me regurgitate my good friend Dr. Drew, because years and years we would have this conversation, and he says we need to talk about it because it does differ. You got to acknowledge it within your relationship. So we're all born with the same amount of neurons, but young girls, and then all the way up into womanhood, they will find ways to prune the connectivity of the neurons so that they're more efficient and effective. Now, it finally balances out when you guys are in your 40s. Isn't that crazy?
So I'm already in the doghouse. Do you take hormones into this study? Does that have anything to do with it?
What? No, I'm kidding.
Listen, it's true. I'm being honest.
Get up, Jeff.
I'm already in the house. Why not live in it?
See you tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Jeff, obviously it takes that into account. Women have hormones, so if they're studying women and men, of course it's going to take it into account, Jeff. Just kidding. So guys, hey, serious story here. I'm tracking the Amber Geiger sentencing phase. So we've been talking about this for months now. This happened back in September 2018. So we're a year later now after Botham Jean was killed in his own apartment eating ice cream. So Amber Geiger has been found guilty of murder. The next phase to happen is the sentencing phase. Now usually we see this weeks, sometimes even months later, but we're seeing it the same day. I've been searching. I can't figure out why it's happening this quick. It may be a Texas law that I don't know about, but I'm still trying to research and figure out why it's happening this quick. But the bottom line is Amber Geiger now faces up to 99 years in prison. DBL Nation, give me your DBL take. Sorry, I said DBL Nation weird. Give me your DBL take. I want to know what you think about this. How long do you think she should get in prison? How long do you think she will get in prison? Give me your updates. Let me know what you think. I want to know your DBL take on this. Obviously, this is a story we've been following for a long time. We want to get justice for Botham Jean, and his family is giving impact statements right now. And again, the sentencing phase has started. My guess is it will go at least through tomorrow, because who knows how long those victim impact statements will take. The judge may only give them 5 minutes each. She may only give them 3 minutes each. She may tell them they can have as long as they want. So we'll keep watching this for you. Again, this is the Amber Geiger murder trial. She has been found guilty of murder, and now she faces up to 99 years in prison. So I'll keep watching this and give you any updates as soon as I get them. We've got a great show coming up for you. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.
About today on Daily Blast Live.
An airport catering cart spinning out of control. A terrifying bridge collapse. The stories behind these crazy new videos. Then, teachers turning to sugar daddy dating sites. How much money they're making to supplement low salaries. Plus, Amy Schumer gives a shout out to Jessica Simpson about her own post-baby weight loss. Wait until you hear Jessica's hilarious response. And a comedian loses her feet, but gains her dream career. How telling jokes has helped her heal from a horrific accident.
When you win a treadmill on TV, but you have no feet.
Well, I guess we know it's not rigged.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Dipping out.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. It's Tuesday, October 1st. Is it like technically the first day of fall? I feel like it is. It feels chilly.
It's freezing out.
You're about to have a pumpkin spice latte.
Yeah, it's raining out.
Yeah.
I got my car washed yesterday.
Do you scarf it? Are you a scarf it?
I love
you
a good
scarf
scarf.
it? Okay,
You
well,
infinity scarf it.
Yeah.
He does?
Yeah, like an Italian woman. I love it.
I don't hate it.
I love it. I'm here with Tori, Jeff, Al. I am Sam. Let's get right to it because we do begin with some breaking news. Former Dallas cop Amber Geiger was found guilty of murder in the shooting death of her neighbor, Botham Jean. Geiger said she had mistakenly entered his apartment thinking it was her own and then shot him dead in 2018. The jury in the case deliberated for less than 2 days, ultimately rejecting her self-defense claims. She faces a prison sentence of 5 to 99 years. And here is what the attorney for Botham Jean's family is saying.
This is a huge victory, not only for the family of Botham Jean, but as his mother Alison told me a moment ago, this is a victory for black people in America. It's a signal that the tide is going to change here.
And they're actually the sentencing phase they're in the middle of right now, which is unheard of. I've covered a lot of trials on CNN,
I couldn't believe
from
that.
Trayvon Martin to Jodi Arias to Casey Anthony. Never have I ever heard of a sentencing phase, the sentencing trial, being at the same time.
So it's a hint. It's a message, really. I think this is, again, my point of view. This judge has ordered the death penalty before. She is no messing around. And at some point, she wanted this done and not allow this person to come home. I think that means think long term, 15 to 25. I think this is going to be a mark. And I think the climate and society has changed. And this is unacceptable because everyone can picture themselves sitting in their shorts, eating vanilla ice cream, and imagining someone walking in. So it just, to me, it's interesting that it's a white woman and a black man, but I think it's going to finally get justice.
And you couple that with the fact that she didn't call in medical personnel, that she didn't herself train to deliver CPR, didn't step in and at least attempt to save his life. So those are some moments where you're like, where's like your aptitude for compassion in that moment?
I can't imagine myself eating ice cream and having someone come in. I don't know what, I can't imagine that at all.
That's what I mean. I'm saying we can all feel that how both of them, John, must have felt how innocent this man was.
Yeah, here's my whole thing. Like, we just listened to a lawyer, and I talked to Al about this earlier. I was surprised how, like, the black community was like, I don't know, I want to choose the right words here, that they were like shocked, almost like, wow, I'm glad we got a guilty verdict here. Because I was like, not even looking at the optics of it, I was like, this woman's guilty. Yeah, she's shot in two seconds. Like, she didn't even look, the story was way off, like, it was crazy. So having, like, the black community be like shocked that it was a guilty, is that the right word?
Right.
I was like, oh my gosh, like, that's where we are, and like, that's where I don't learn.
Right. Kind of like the ground zero for this is Trayvon Martin. Obviously, there have been black men murdered before that, but Trayvon Martin wasn't even killed by a cop. He was just killed by a random dude.
He was a wannabe cop.
Yes,
he was a wannabe
but wannabe doesn't make you a cop.
I know,
yeah,
but it's that mentality.
Yes, and he was told to not follow him. He then followed him, murdered him, and then he got off. Like, he just walked away.
And became a hero to some.
Yes, and so disgusting. I believe he sold the gun on eBay. So that's why this is such a big deal.
So there's a correlation.
Definitely.
Gotcha.
So glad to see justice served.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, now some crazy video that you gotta see. Check this out. A catering cart was spinning out of control at the Chicago airport yesterday. Authorities say the accelerator got stuck, and as it spins around, the cart keeps getting closer and closer to the plane. Terrifying. Finally, a quick-thinking employee jumps on a baggage cart, saves the day. Here we go. Here we go. Boom. And even the president is now responding, tweeting, "Great job, just in time." That feels like a cartoon to me.
I know. There's a meme going around that this is everyone's life, how it feels. I mean, it's really ironic.
A hamster wheel.
Yeah, it just feels like everything's going wrong, but smart move on that guy, and thank God no one got hurt. But that's terrifying. If you're watching from the plane.
Yeah. I mean,
Chicago, they step up.
Yeah, they do. It's your hometown. More unbelievable video. A bridge in Taiwan collapsed today, and the whole thing is caught on camera. And in case you missed it, an oil tanker that was trying to cross fell right onto boats below. At least 12 people were hurt. 2 bodies have been recovered. And they're still trying to figure out why the bridge collapsed. I mean, I think anybody that crosses a bridge or even goes under a bridge, you think about this. It's your worst nightmare.
How could you not? And I mean, you think about infrastructure in this country. I was speaking with Erica, and she reminded me of the bridge that collapsed in Minnesota, Minneapolis, not too long ago. And it's so weird. And Tori, obviously, you're our political aficionado. I'm surprised more.
I love it. I'm taking it. No, don't. I'm taking
that's
it.
all
She's
you.
gonna put that on her resume.
That's all you, girl. But like, I'm surprised more candidates don't say everybody's like pro-abortion or anti-abortion. That's gonna make half the people hate you. But if you say I'm running on infrastructure, first of all, everybody's down with bridges working, and that kind of stuff gets everybody to work.
Guess
so I'm
who figured that out? Guess who figured that out? Franklin Delano Roosevelt. The Depression was happening. He's like, how do I put a great amount of people to work and get our morale back? Let's do infrastructure. That's the last time we've updated our bridges and roads. That's crazy. So I completely agree. If I were running a Democratic campaign, it would be the first bill I'd put to Congress. You have 100% of people behind you. Who doesn't want to see
And also
bridge?
something people don't hear about a lot. Everybody's healthcare,
right?
But I think if somebody's like, I'm going to put you to work and your community's going to be safer, I think people be down with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shulman 2020.
Oh God, the aficionado.
Whoa. Yes. The aficionado. I feel it. It's going to stick. It's going to stick. She's happy, folks. A lot of teachers have to take second or third jobs to make ends meet, but now we are learning more and more are resorting to sugar daddy dating websites like Seeking Arrangement to pay the bills. The site allows women to set up mutually beneficial relationships, often with older men who are willing to pay for companionship. Now, Seeking Arrangement says they have more than 10,000 teachers on their site. Tori, how would you feel if your your kid's teacher was on the site?
I'm super open about this. If my surgeon, doctor, I said this, lawyer, friend was a dominatrix or submissive at home in their private life, I have no issue with that. My problem is that they have to work 3 or 4 jobs. So how much attention is my kid actually getting? How tired are they? How discombobulated are they? So I don't really care about their personal life. I think it's just a sad where we put our values of teachers in this country.
Yeah, I just look at it as like, I think we need to have 2 conversations. Are you seeking companionship? Because that's totally different.
Yeah.
Or are you a prostitute?
Totally.
So there's 2 different things. So if you're seeking companion, I might be more compassionate about you teaching my child. If you're a prostitute, that comes with a whole different lifestyle.
Agreed.
Okay, there's drugs involved in that. There's a whole different nightlife involved in that. So if you're going to teach my child and say, hey, listen, if you later on in life fall on your face, you could always be a prostitute in the summertime and get back on your feet.
I don't think a lot of them look at it as prostitution.
And I'm just taking the extreme. If you're going to take the extreme and say companionship,
I don't know if you're taking the extreme. I think we're using a lot of euphemistic language here. I think seeking an arrangement in which is mutual beneficial to both of us
also
is a nice way to, yes, of course. But prostitution is consensual. It's me giving you an amount of money to have consensual sex.
Some of them just want friendship.
Like, Tori,
that's 2 different conversations.
Some of them do just have dinner. No. Some of them do just have dinner. They do. They do.
Look, people are isolated with their phones. Sometimes they just want a date. Honestly, they just want companionship.
Others
I am
do
also
lead.
Sure, right.
Yes. I think
Stop
what's really
looking at me like
what's really alarming is the fact that some of these teachers feel the need. Al,
are we gonna do this?
What? Pretend like they don't hook up?
Yes.
Some of them don't hook up.
What percentage?
Yes.
I don't know those percentages.
Take a wild guess. This is
now you have to remember.
How many men do you think are like? Let me take a random person to dinner and then take them home.
You have to remember that women are the ones calling the shot here. They are. They're calling the shots. And some, just statistically proven, women aren't going to be as apt to jump into bed as men are.
But if you pay them, they will.
That's why they're on the site.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
I think it's a shame that teachers feel like that they have to resort to
That's the ridiculous part about this, is that we're even talking about this. I mean, that they have 3 jobs and one of them is this.
And then in the summers, they're driving Ubers.
It's ridiculous.
I know. All right.
Drive their dates.
In. What'd you say?
They could drive to their dates.
Albert!
What? Save, make money. What's wrong with that? They're on the site. I didn't do it.
All right, fine.
DBL is live. Coming up, it's the wedding of the season. Justin Bieber and Hailey Baldwin tie the knot, and we've got all the hot details. Then, when life threw her curveball, comedian Danielle Perez worked even harder to pursue her dreams. She's sharing her empowering story with our DBL Nation. And you, the viewer, are our 5th host. Should teachers be allowed to carry guns in the classroom? It is a simple question, but the answer can be complicated. Your comments next.
Hey guys, Kelly Schubert here, the DBL digital team. I'm tracking all the breaking and trending news for you right now, including the Amber Geiger trial. We are now in the sentencing phase. She has been found guilty of murder in Botham John's murder. So let's go to the desk and see what's going on with our host. But I do want to let you know I'll keep you updated on that sentencing phase. Hey guys, how's it going up here?
It is. Oh.
Hi.
She goes,
hi.
Hi. Hello. Hi guys.
My son
she used his full, yeah.
Friday, our teacher has a schedule.
That's fine.
Also,
I think so.
The amount of responsibility. I would deal with 150 people's kids every day.
Yeah.
I know. How we don't.
So here's my question, because we're getting a lot of comments coming in regard to the teacher story, where I thought we were all under the same opinion that teachers are underpaid. A lot of you are writing in thinking that teachers aren't underpaid.
Really?
Yeah, they get summers off. My son makes $30,000 a year.
Get out of here.
So.
Wait, hold up. People think that teachers get paid enough in this country?
Get paid too much.
Okay, I will take you on.
They mention summers off.
That's
are
what
you
they always
kidding me?
mention.
These people don't.
Tori, can I just say,
I'm
as a former
shocked.
teacher, your
I thought we were all
your
under
summers
the same,
aren't paid. So
like,
I mean,
I want my
if you
teacher to
quit
feel
your job
motivated.
every summer, you don't have your summer off. You're not getting paid.
Right.
So I mean, now granted, some teachers do make their salary so they get paid over the course of the summer, but that then makes your check during the school year significantly smaller. So I think when we start saying stuff like teachers have it easy, it just the amount of responsibility that we're asked to do. And yes, I'll always say we. I'll always consider myself a teacher. I come from a long line of teachers. we take the responsibility of having your children in our care very seriously.
And then you're going home correcting homework till 9 o'clock at night. Let's not forget about that.
I mean, like, if I don't
Like
think
literally, I was a daughter of a teacher. I remember my mom correcting homework till 9, 10 o'clock at night after working a full day. She's up at 7 in the morning. Kids are there by 7:40.
And
That's
don't
a
forget,
long
you have
day.
parent-teacher conferences, so sometimes you're there at 6 o'clock if you have like 3 or 4 parent-teacher conferences.
And she would always buy supplies for her classroom.
Oh, a lot of people still writing in that they disagree with you. I mean, that's crazy.
Welcome back to DBL. It is time for Fifth Host, when we talk about what you're talking about. Today, some students in Florida will be entering classrooms with armed teachers. Now, more than a year after the Parkland shooting, a new law allows some teachers to bring guns to class. Those not in favor of this argue that mental health programs are a far better deterrent to mass shootings and that all armed personnel should remain outside of the classroom. So DBL Nation, should teachers be able to bring guns into the class? Lots of you are writing in. I can barely keep up. Tori, take it away.
Yeah, you guys are continually writing in the whole show. Barb from Facebook says, why spend the money training and arming teachers when you could instead put the money towards professional security? If we're actually trying to make progress, that seems like the route to take. Barb, I appreciate that. That's a really reasonable, to me, somewhat response. Having more guns statistically, and you can't debunk this, means more bullets, means more people dead. End of sentence. And when you have children, that means dead kids. I'm just going to call it like it is. I will also let you know one other thing. Now the shooter has a target, and that's the teachers. I think this is a
Or how to get the gun.
Or how to get the gun. It's a terrible, terrible idea, in my opinion. I know a lot of you disagree. Go ahead and write me in, but that's the way I feel about this.
Don't write in. I'm about to disagree with her right now. Jim from Facebook says schools were just sitting ducks because shooters knew that guns were not permitted in them, and that just makes schools more vulnerable. Jim, I'm going to go on your side with this one. I think it's a good idea. After 9/11, I was like, I hope there's an air marshal on his flight that has a gun that if something happens, he could do something. I'm not saying every teacher. You have to go through the proper training. Just knowing that a gun might be in that school is a deterrent for school shooters. You don't know who it is. There might not even be a gun in there, but knowing that there might be is going to be a deterrent for these school shooters. The government's not stepping up. We need to step up, and I like this idea.
But what if you're a shooter and you don't have a gun and you're like, well, at least I can find one in a school? I mean, then you can get a gun at the school.
And that happens in people's homes. It's the same as an air marshal. You don't know who it is or where the gun is. You have no idea.
Why put teachers in that position if you're not going to pay them, then make them police?
I didn't say put them in that position. If you're willing to do that and go through the training.
I would not have my kid in that school. I would not want my kid in the crossfire of a mistaken poor teacher who's trying to save the day. I think it's a bad idea.
Or what if it's a teacher, and believe me, there's many, many, many great teachers. There's also a small percentage of teachers. We have seen it on video. We reported on it that have become unhinged, fought students. What if it escalated into grabbing a gun? So I worry about that too.
You have to go through training. There's a training. They have to go through a mental process.
He could have like.
Listen,
what if, I know.
It's one guy you're going to compare. What else are we doing?
Yeah.
I'd rather have a gun in the school to defend somebody.
We don't have any options.
Wouldn't you rather have security, like veterans trained? I'd rather have that than a teacher. I'd rather put the money there with guns.
You're not. I mean, good point. I thought I had some good ones too.
You did.
Good point.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's a good conversation. Good job.
I feel like I won.
I don't think you were involved at all. And he's the former teacher.
Al,
Coming up on DBL. Do men really mature slower than women? The new study that proves it once and for all. And next, we talk with comedian Danielle Perez, how she turned heartache to hope with a lot of laughs along the way. Do not miss this powerful interview coming up next.
Are you?
Nova Scotia, I have friends who are teachers and they make minimum, guess how much?
60?
70.
Oh, Canada.
Canada.
It's just
Nova Scotia.
Yes. Our country is just so different. First of all, obviously
Is
we're
that just
broken
for
up
me?
into different states. So
Is
they're
that not
just
coming
all
through?
so different
It
and
is,
just
and there's many
regulated
fewer
differently.
people.
And
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a certain amount of money in each state. Some states have more money than others. It's just,
Yes.
the fact that we can't pay, I mean, I didn't make really what I would consider a livable wage teaching. I mean, it was like just enough.
Would you tell people what you made? Do you feel comfortable?
Oh yeah, I've made $34,000 a year my first year teaching, which.
What year was that? You have to put that in.
2000.
Oh, yeah.
2003 I started teaching. Yeah. The 2002, 2003 school year, and I taught up until 2007. But you know, I lived in Miami. I had a roommate. My rent was, I don't know, roughly. I remember every 2 weeks. I'll never forget. My pay was $1,400. $1,444.44.
Oh, whoa.
I remember that, like so, and that was my pay just for the school year because I didn't get it extended out through the summer. So, with the last day of school that the kids had, that was the last day I was getting paid. So now I have to figure out how I'm going to survive until the next school year. So if I get my paycheck extended out over the summer, that means I don't even get that $1,400 every 2 weeks. That means my check is probably $980.
Right.
$10.50.
Think about where it came from, though. You know, like think back in the days, like the 50s or 60s. Women were teachers, you know, and I think it was the man went to work and the women wanted to supplement the income by going to school, by teaching in school when their kids were in school, and then they get their summers off because their kids were off. I think that's where the whole concept came from.
I'm not saying that.
I don't think it's inflated at all.
No, I mean you don't think it's.
No, I think the teachers should get paid more.
Right.
I think that concept of not paying them a lot and they get their summers off. I think that's.
She had no idea how much she needed that. Till life threw her a curveball. Meet my friend, my girl, fellow comedian, Danielle Perez.
Danielle Perez was made for comedy.
I am a party girl. I was out at the club recently, popping bottles, popping wheelies, as you do.
But that was never part of her plan. Her life changed at just 20 years old. Danielle was crossing the street in San Francisco when she was hit by a streetcar. Her legs were amputated below the knee, and she spent the next month in the hospital recovering. Danielle struggled with depression and getting her life on track until she started doing stand-up at open mic nights.
Honestly, I haven't seen acts of treason this flagrant since Kelly referred to herself as the second lead singer of Destiny's Child.
Her big break was in 2015 when she ironically won a treadmill on The Price is Right. Her reaction went viral, and she soon started gaining popularity with appearances on major TV shows like Jimmy Kimmel.
It's gonna be, I'm gonna cast it in bronze and have it as a trophy to my network television debut.
She uses comedy to share her story, but in return, it's helped her heal by finding her strength. Danielle is now a full comedian on tour and an advocate for disability rights, teaching people that her differences are actually her strengths.
10,000 hours ain't enough for the goal.
Yes.
All right. Yes, and joining us now, my friend, fellow comedian, Danielle Perez.
Whoop, whoop.
Danielle, you are an example of making the best out of a bad situation. Welcome to Denver, first of all.
Thank you for having me.
How's the city treating you? We like it here.
I like Denver. Denver's great. Getting here was a big old pain, though.
Yes, I saw you edit yourself there, too. Good job.
I did.
That's my girl.
The spicy girl. But, the wheelchair airports, that's long roads, lots of travel. I hitched a ride on one of the little go-karts.
Yeah.
Nice.
To get here a little
And you were here for the High Plains Festival, the comedy festival, right?
The last night.
That's right. All right, my girl.
And you
All
had
right.
a really big year touring with Maria Bamford, which is awesome. What I want to talk to you about, first of all, your resiliency is so inspiring. So I'm just really honored to be sitting right next to you. Now,
I'm sitting because Al was standing earlier, and I was like, standing really
Yes, it's going to be.
They're
I'm going to let you know who runs this.
Talk to us about that moment in 2015, your big break, Price is Right. How were you able to take that into a viral moment, capitalize on it, and do people still recognize you just from that episode?
Oh, well, it was just so ridiculous. Like, you can't write or script that. It's crazy. I was so shocked that everyone else was acting like it was business as usual. Because I'm like, this is pretty nuts. This isn't normal. But, people still recognize me. I was out at a bar recently, and a guy was like, were you on The Price is Right? That was 5 years ago.
Well, you're a light that people remember, absolutely.
Yes.
So Danielle, when you're doing comedy, you're not just talking about your disability. You're also a strong, independent Latina woman.
Yeah, she don't know me.
That's right.
Unless there are 3 flights of stairs.
I was going to ask what's the audience reaction, but I think we get what the audience reaction is. How does the audience receive you?
They laugh. You know, I'm normalizing my body and my life experience, and I think that if we can all laugh at something, we can understand it. And you don't see women like me on stage joking a lot, but you can see me and you can laugh and you're like, all right, I get it. She's kind of wild. She's a little crazy.
Yeah.
We're all kind of wild and crazy.
I think it's healing and cathartic too, just like watching you. What are your future goals? What's next for you? I'm sure your fans out there and our DBL viewers want to know.
Oh, doing everything, writing, acting, being on TV, taking Al's job here.
See, this is why I said one segment and she goes. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, well, if speaking of future goals, you can see us tonight in the future. Yes, catch us at Oscar Blues in the Buzzard Room. With we're going to do my girl Janae Burris' show at 9:30 tonight, right here in Denver, Colorado. So come out and catch her before she vanishes back to LA. So come see her tonight.
Yes.
Are you going to come back?
I will come back.
Yeah, she's going to take your job.
I'll be back.
I'm just like, I'm trying, because you're staying with me again.
Yeah.
All right, no hotels. That's where we are right now. Your
I love
family.
it. He's got a view of the mountains.
Yes, your DBL family, so you're here.
Hell yeah.
Thanks, girl. I love you.
Thank you. This is fun, you guys.
It almost seems like an intervention is about to start. Your mom's back there. Thanks, Danielle. We'll be right back.
You want to start?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, hey guys, I'm here with David Briggs. You might recognize
Hey,
him from the stage managing position.
I'm usually way too busy to do this.
Yeah, he is, but we have an important message for you.
So my brother texted me this morning, a friend of his who he works with and who I actually went to see Book of Mormon with last year.
Oh, wow.
He went on vacation to Cancun, Mexico, and got in an accident, I guess, and he's on life support right now in Cancun. Doesn't have the funds he needs and his family need to get him back to the United States. So they set up a GoFundMe to try to get him back to the United Excuse me.
You're right.
Yeah. To get him back to the United States, they're at the 15,000 they need of the 25. So
we need about 10,000 more?
10,000 to go, yeah.
So guys, it's going to GoFundMe at Andrew Farrell Medical, Farrell or Farrell?
Andrew Farrell.
Farrell Medical Recovery Fund. Again, it's Andrew Farrell, spelled Farrell. Medical Recovery Fund. They're already at 15,000 and they need 25,000. It's important. Hospitals here are really important.
Yeah.
The switch would be an enormous improvement.
That's what he needs, is
Yes.
to get back here and to get the medical help he needs. And if nothing else, just thoughts and prayers. So.
And thoughts and prayers, and be really direct and thoughtful. Any type of life support is hard, so just please give all you can. We're thinking of Andrew.
Yep. Thanks, DBL Nation.
Bye, guys.
Welcome back to DBL. Tori, comments?
Yes, we have something. Someone wrote in about Danielle. This is Genevieve. She said, I love Danielle Perez's spirit, the true definition of never, ever giving up on your dreams. And it's so amazing because as a comic, it's scary, but to do it with pride and just to get out there
and resiliency, right?
Ooh.
And a sense of humor.
Totally.
It's my girl.
Watch them tonight, 9:30 at
9:30 at Oscar Blues.
Boom.
Market Street.
Here's what's coming up next on DBL.
From one new mom to another, Amy Schumer shouts out Jessica Simpson on social media why the internet is cracking up. Then, does science really prove women mature faster than men? I think we cracked the code. And wedding bells for the Biebers. We've got the lowdown on the celebrity wedding of the season when DBL comes back.
Hi DBL Nation, it's Raquel here. Right now it's time for Fast Blast, where I give you all the trendy news you need to know in under 2 minutes. So let's get that timer up and get started. Now, starting today, you have 1 year to get your real ID. Next October, if your driver's license isn't up to date, you won't be able to board a flight with it. So start checking now to make sure you have everything you need to get a real ID. I'm going to tell it to you again. The deadline is October 1st, 2020. Grab your phone, make a note, Siri 2020, because I'll forget too. So this is all for the best of us. Now, have you ever daydreamed about traveling the world, but could never, ever, ever leave your pet? Well, right now, a company called Snaptrip wants to pay someone to travel UK as a furfluencer. I just want that job in real life and hang out at doggy-friendly spots. Telling you, it is a dream job. Take it up while you can. Now, growing up, I loved Disney movies, especially the hand-drawn look of the classics like Fantasia, all the way to Aladdin. While computer-animated movies look amazing, there's something special about that original look. Well, now there's a chance it could come back. Frozen's director says she could absolutely see it coming back as a style. I'm pretty happy about that. Now on to food I don't think should exist. This Japanese company has mayonnaise-flavored ice cream. It's mixed with cookie, white chocolate, and mayonnaise. All right. I thought dipping my French fries into a vanilla shake was wild. Guess it wasn't. DBL Nation, would you try this? Let me know. That's it for today's Fast Blast. See you next time.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. We are live. Let's get started. Amy Schumer gave birth to a baby boy in May, but she's in no rush to drop the weight. She posted this photo with her sister saying, "Okay, Simpson, I've lost 10 pounds and $100 to my sister playing poker." She's referring to Jessica, who recently lost 100 pounds since welcoming her daughter. Well, Jessica replied to Amy saying, "You're hot. Size only matters when it comes to men." Oh.
Wow.
Let me point out this comment because I laughed at it.
Yeah, of course.
But, hey, I appreciate our viewers keeping us honest. This viewer wrote, "Double standard." This is Jody on Twitter. Not one of you pointed out that if a male celebrity had made a disparaging remark about the size of a woman's breast, there would be outrage.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about it.
Absolutely true.
Yeah,
absolutely true. Yeah, double standard.
Who was that, Jody?
I laughed at it. This is Jody on Twitter. Thank you, Jody, for calling it out and keeping us honest, keeping me honest.
I thought it was a great stand-up joke. I thought it was really funny. I thought, good for Jessica Simpson. Look at the humor, but she's absolutely right.
She's not on stage. I get what she's saying.
She's trying to be funny to Amy Schumer.
She's trying to be the cool.
Huh?
She's trying to be cool.
The cool.
Yeah, but if I was trying to be cool on social media, I'd get blasted.
I'm being super honest with you. I didn't even think of it.
You didn't think of it?
No.
That's
really bad of us.
That's our double standard privilege?
Yeah,
that's it.
I don't think that's a phrase. We need to make up a new word right now because whatever that is, you guys got.
We do.
So when you heard us read that, what did you feel?
I said I got to pick my battles, and I'd rather fight about the next one.
But inside, you were like, man, that's cutting.
I would. First of all, I'm not that guy, and I'm never aware of any of that stuff. Now, when I hear it, I'm super super aware. I'm
I
like,
can't
if
believe
I
anything
said
about
that to someone else or a woman,
No, you're absolutely
I would
right,
be
Jeff.
murdered.
Only her breast size matters. I would be like, what?
I'd be like, what a loser.
Yeah.
Don't say holla.
Yeah, please don't.
We'll accept
What?
you guys' apologies.
Yeah, what are you talking about? I thought that was cool. I thought we were being I was on stage. I was being a stand-up.
What do you mean? Why? Okay.
All right.
Hello.
The Biebers finally tied the knot last night. Stephanie Jones, tell us all about this lavish event. Who was there?
Okay, so it's official again. Justin and Hailey wed in a private ceremony in South Carolina. I mean, just look at them. They've just posted these photos, and the Happy New Year's went all out with this fancy, bedazzled champagne and gifted themselves a few things like this sleek leather jacket and watch, which retails for about 60 grand. Not too shabby, eh? But social media cannot get enough of the A-list guests. So Kendall and Kylie Jenner, she brought along her baby Stormy, who looked so stylish. And Will Smith's lookalike son Jaden Smith, he hit the photo booth with a happy couple. Plus, supermodel Joan Smalls and singer Justine Skye were there. I'd say it's a pretty successful celebration, but what do you guys think? Who did you hope that would be there that wasn't?
Oh, that's a great question. I was hoping Selena Gomez.
I was just gonna say
Can you imagine?
I know it's just his. I know it's his ex, but I was hoping that they had an amicable
Me
enough
too.
relationship because I just love them together.
I also kind of wanted to see the Baldwins.
The Baldwin.
Yeah, she's the
You're right, but
Baldwin.
I think she doesn't talk to.
I think they're a little
to
estranged.
Steven.
Steven, her dad, yeah. But I think it would have been nice to.
Hey, Stephanie, let me ask you about the fashion, because remember when Justin Bieber was teasing on his Instagram all the different suits he was going to wear, and of course they were very gaudy.
Yeah.
What did you think about his actual suit?
Oh, I thought he looked so classic, and I love that he's cut his hair finally. I didn't like the long floppy locks. He went through a bit of a messy stage, which I'm sure Jeff will agree with, but he really cleaned up. I mean, we saw the pictures of him and Hailey in the photo booth. I mean, look, he looks so dapper. And also, I found it very interesting that he posted on Instagram a picture of him with Hailey many, many years ago, with Hailey's family, saying, "I'd like to thank the Baldwins for letting your daughter marry this savage."
Oh!
Interesting choice of words,
I
eh?
agree, Steph. I don't know if I'd want my daughter marrying a savage.
I know.
Yeah.
How about Fred Savage?
I love Fred Savage.
Great guy.
Yeah, really good guy. Thank you, Steph,
Thanks,
as always. Yesterday, we told you about a homeless woman singing opera in the subway. Now we have an update on her. Raquel, what's going on?
Well, Sam, less than 24 hours after becoming a viral sensation, Emily Zemacor's opera performance in a subway has landed her a job. She's been invited to perform at the opening of Little Italy in Los Angeles, and a council member in that district is working on finding her long-term housing. The 52-year-old from Russia says she became homeless after her violin was destroyed while performing outside. Now, a GoFundMe has raised more than $30,000 for this talented musician. Now, she calls her overnight fame a miracle.
Oh my gosh, I have chills.
There's something about, I always say there's something, she likes to go to the subway for the acoustics and to be alone. And a policeman caught her on camera and said he had to take it. And she said she prays every night that someone would hear her and do something. She really wants to be an opera singer.
It's amazing. 30,000 GoFundMe, well done. I love that. Good story. Well, the fallout from Forever 21's bankruptcy continues. They plan to close about a fourth of their locations. That's a lot, which will impact malls across the country. So we're wondering how you feel, DBL Nation. Do you prefer to shop in-store or online? Go to dblvote.com. Let us know. Do you think this is the death of retail?
Forever 21 sounds like an ironic name now, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It really.
Not for long, 21.
I didn't think about that either.
It's funny.
I'm funny. I'm a comedian.
I'm gonna kill you.
Do you buy clothes online?
So
Does
here's my
Jordan?
thing.
What does Jordan
Here's
do?
my thing. I have to know my size first. So if I'm getting a size 10 in Nike, then I could buy online with that particular brand. So I have to know the brand, know the size, because the sizes are all different, and especially if you buy from China late night on eBay and you get a quadruple extra large and it comes back and it fits my son Lawson, that's a whole nother story.
Oh yeah, one time I bought something that I thought would be so cool and on Sophie's like remote control car that she can ride, and I thought it was a big Wonder Woman emblem. It was like the size of my pinky nail.
Really?
I paid like $15 for it from China.
I know,
and it came in, and I was like, it's literally, it was like one of those decals you could put on your fingernails. Not a car decal.
Well, do women have the same problem men do? Because I find like I can't get my size. Either the shirt fits too tight or the arms are too short.
See, I think you have to be really savvy about the reviews. If you can read, like Zara's really good at it, Rent the Runway is really good at it. ASOS, if you can look at your size, like your exact weight, your exact height, you'll find, just based on all the customer reviews, what's too wide, what's too short, what fits big, what fits small. So I actually buy almost everything online and it works for me. But I hate the fact that it's the death of retail.
Yeah, I know, because it means a lot of jobs, but I gotta say, I love shopping online. I don't even try on.
You always shop online.
I really dislike going into the store because it's just unpleasant feeling. Have you been to a mall lately? It feels like tumbleweeds are just like blowing through. I mean, it's a sad.
I mean, people don't leave their homes for anything.
Yeah,
so I think the mall is just a casualty of war, like everything, like calendars and everything else. The phone has taken a lot of like our natural human interaction. I feel like a lot of people met their like first boyfriend at the mall.
Yeah.
You know, and it was like a little bit of social interaction. So I think it's I mean, I had to go to the Apple store. It's about the only time I'll go, and it's empty.
I know.
There's no one in there.
I still go to the mall, and the Apple store is packed.
Always
every time
packed.
I go back.
Well, the Apple stores, yes.
That's what you just said. You just went and it was empty.
No, the Apple store is packed. The mall's empty.
Because if I need like a new shirt for the weekend or something, like we're having a dinner or something.
New shirt for the weekend.
You don't go out like to dinner and
I gotta get a new shirt for the weekend.
Yeah, you don't do that. Like we're having family come in town. I don't want to wear the same crummy stuff.
Of course I do. But I can just picture Jeff. New shirt for the weekend.
Oh, I think we're done with this.
Okay. Let's see what DBL Nation has to say. 43% of you go to in-stores. So, okay, that's good. That's good.
That's
Shirt
great.
for the weekend. I hear you. Everyone knows men and women develop differently, but a new study says that women mature at age 32, while men have a little catching up to do. They don't fully mature until the age of 43.
This is true, but I don't think it's true with me. I just think it's true. I just don't think
no,
it's
it
true
is
with
true. I
everybody.
have the science
behind
it.
Yeah,
Dr. Drew has told me over and over and over again that we're all born with the same amount of neurons, okay? But immediately girls start to prune the connectivity between their neurons to make it more efficient.
What?
And men don't. I mean, they do eventually, but there's such a slower process of learning how to be efficient with the connectivity that we will mature faster than men. Isn't that crazy?
It doesn't make sense though, because whenever you start obviously to have menstruation, you could have a child.
Right.
And that starts around what, 12 or 13?
Biologically,
so that means your body is like, if you are able to have a baby, you need to be smart enough to be able to make sure that the baby survives. Where a dude can just kind of stumble around, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was going on until I was like 28.
Seriously.
I was like a gigantic child.
You could really see it in children, like male versus female children. But I don't know about when you get older, because this doesn't take into account hormones. And I'm being serious. I got yelled at for eating crackers too loud the other day. That's not very mature.
It's very sensitive.
How are you eating the crackers?
Normal. It was just because it was that special time, and I was getting yelled at no matter what I did.
Eat them in the closet. I'd agree with you. I taught middle school, and like a 7th grade boy and a 7th grade girl are on different planets in terms of maturity. So you can see it there, 100%.
Interesting. All right. A YouTuber nearly crashed the Chanel show at Paris Fashion Week. You can see her rush the stage right in front of another model. How rude. She struts her stuff for a while, then she decides to bail. But supermodel Gigi Hadid doesn't let that happen. She blocks her and escorts her off the aisle. Yeah, how dare you try and that's a lot of those models, like it's their first time walking these runways. They've worked very hard to get there. It's their time to shine, and then you have some Instagrammer wanting to get likes. Ruin that?
What would happen if that person, like if I was up there and I just shoved them off the stage and they broke their arm or something?
You would be in trouble.
But can I know?
Why? I don't understand.
I have a question.
Yeah, I hear you, Jeff.
Where was the security?
That's what they probably did. They probably didn't think they had to have it.
I don't think the security realized it.
Oh, you thought it was part of the show because she is wearing looking like Chanel.
Yeah, she looks.
I would have threw her right through that fake subway station or whatever.
She's wearing Chanel. Good for Gigi Hadid, though.
I agree with you, Sam. That's because she is the biggest person there, so she took control and didn't make it good for her.
And don't ruin. And think about the designers and the people that put so much
so many hours.
So
and all you did is set up a camera. I hope it's worth it. And I know whoever follows that fool, I'm sure they thought that was hilarious because they're on a lower level of entertainment. That people work so hard, and it's always the people like that that get their likes by crashing other people that are actually talented. Yet the people that run on the football field because they had 14 beers rather than the guys that did 25,000 push-ups. That's why those guys get tackled, and I wouldn't have minded to see a security guard tackle her because you don't know what she has on her.
She could
so true.
Those are famous models up there.
So true. Coming up on DBL, more and more people are going back to work after retiring, the things you need to be aware of before re-entering the workforce. But first, we tackle some of the biggest misconceptions around. Your mind will be blown after this next segment, so don't go anywhere.
Security at a fashion show.
And
it's like, I do think that she got a pass because she was a woman. Don't forget the person that killed Selena was a 57-year-old woman. It's like, you don't know all somebody needs is access to a knife or a gun.
But it did kind of to me before you were reading it. I hadn't seen the story. I thought it was part of the Chanel because I thought Chanel was doing like a cool like walk-on. And you don't want to interrupt the show at the same time because she's wearing what looks like Chanel.
Well, it looked like the model that she kind of jumped in front of didn't see anything strange. So maybe she even thought too.
She's doing her job. She's trying to do her job.
She's got the stage manager involved, all these people besides the models, besides the designer who are involved and take their jobs very seriously. And you have one person who wants likes on Instagram ruin that for people.
And that's the thing, if you push her off the stage, she breaks her arm, now I'm at fault because you did something stupid and I'm but I think there is a good defense of like, nowadays you don't know if this person has a job.
I don't think you get in trouble.
I would have fired him right that window.
When somebody streaks onto a field, they still tackle them. They rough them up when they get them off the field. I really do. It just really bothers me because I know how hard people work for everything. Like the seamstresses that spent hours making sure that's perfect.
Guy, you know?
Everybody, and honestly, I hope she's happy. Somebody probably lost their job. Somebody that was doing a million things that didn't account for the fact that a grown-up
someone had to be the scapegoat.
Yeah, so I hope you're happy because like somebody coordinated that festival either will never get to work that venue again, will lose their job, or lose their title, or just got yelled at and humiliated.
And how is it up to Gigi Hadid? Good for her.
I know.
But how is no one else step up and be like, dude, who is this person?
I know. By the way, Billy Baldwin was at the Bieber wedding. So
Billy or Steven?
Billy is what someone wrote in.
Steven's the dad.
I know, but Billy apparently was just there. I don't think she's in touch with her dad.
Oh, she's not?
No, I don't think they're close.
Oh, was that because wasn't there a story about the uncle? Like, so she talks to her uncle, and that's who Bieber like asked. Is there something like that? Did we do a story like that?
Welcome back to DBL. Remember when an apple a day kept the doctor away, or back when smoking was good for your health? We know better now, but there's still a lot of learning left for us all. So today we're going to bust some common misconceptions. We're calling it, so you want the truth? You can't handle the truth. Let's get started and see if we can handle these truths. Here we go. First up, the Great Wall of China being visible from space is a myth.
Really?
I guess so. NASA says there is one exception. If you're flying in low orbit on a clear and it just snowed, the wall then becomes slightly visible. So I guess on a clear day.
So that means it is visible.
But in
on a clear day, and it just snowed.
You're still in space.
Temperatures.
Yeah.
Technically, yes, you can.
Yes, but like, is it the orbit? Remember the guy that jumped from
God, the
orbit?
Red Bull
the
guy.
Red Bull guy? I wonder if they're talking about that. Yes, good memory. I wonder if they're talking about that kind of low orbit, or are they talking about like when the
space though? That's still space. Yeah,
it's
still space.
So that we didn't debunk anything.
We bunked something.
Next, 41% of Americans think humans and dinosaurs coexisted, but they're wrong. Humans missed their dino friends by about 63 million years.
That's all that. These are the people on the internet.
I think maybe people think like the caveman, the Neanderthals existed.
I agree. I learned a fact that the asteroid today that hit for the dinosaurs to die, rocks went so high from the crater that they hit the moon.
Whoa.
That's how hard that asteroid
That was
hit.
a big blast.
Really?
Big blast.
How do we know?
The Science Times told me. The rate of velocity.
Maybe we need to bust that one next week.
Yeah. I don't know if Science Times is a magazine either.
It's in the New York Times. It's a section.
I think you're reading
every
High
Tuesday.
Times and got confused.
Okay.
Where's the noise?
That's good. Next, the belief that Napoleon Bonaparte was short is just a tall tale. The statesman was 5'7", which was the average height for a Frenchman in the 1800s.
I find that shocking.
I don't know about this because back then they all wore heels. They did. All the kingsmen, the statesmen wore heels. I went to his apartment in Paris, and let me tell you, his bunny slippers, which are real bunnies with pink eyes carved in, like they're just real bunnies with holes in them that stuck his
Are you sure this is apartment was in Amsterdam? It just seems like you have an interesting memory. But
no, this was in Paris.
Are you
and
sure?
He had very small feet, so I thought he was very small.
I just thought that people were malnourished back then, so they didn't grow as tall. They didn't eat the 4 food groups back then. You ate what you had.
He definitely. He had all the access to all the food. He lived very well.
I know, but they didn't have kale back then. They were just eating whatever they could get.
Kale?
Yeah, they didn't have fancy, healthy stuff.
The sprouting food.
I think you've never seen those feasts.
Yeah, they have a lot of fruit.
They have a lot of fruit in those.
I like how we're debunking myths, but we don't believe it.
I know.
Myth number 4: dropped food is okay to eat.
Yeah.
Pick it up in 5 seconds. I hate to say it, but bacteria will contaminate food once it hits the floor.
So what?
Okay, there's a big study. There's a big article, and I read it.
In the Science Times?
No, but it said a surgeon. No, he would have his child or toddler actually eat from the floor in order to get the antibodies because so many kids get sick.
I've heard studies like that too. I've actually heard studies like that. But I mean, everyone knows that it's dirty on the floor. It's just like, I just bought that. I'm gonna eat it.
I know.
Still.
Yeah, I don't care.
I know.
Do you think the floor is any dirtier than a door handle?
Right.
No, door handle.
Honestly,
I think you're right. That's
an elevator
Or
button,
surface?
a railing. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I think that I think the floor gets a bad rap. I think stuff we touch is way worse.
Yeah, floor does get a bad rap.
I'll eat it off the floor.
Me too. There we go. Save some
Clip
money.
that for your reel.
Coming up on DBL, important advice if you're retired and are going back to work, what you need to know so you're not caught off guard. Next in Dollars and Cents.
Hey guys, welcome back to Beauty Blast. I'm Jeray Banks, or you can find me at Jeray for the Slay on any social media platform. Today, we're speaking about spot treatment versus slathering products all over your skin. This is very important because a lot of people suffer from different things like acne, over texture in the skin, hyperpigmentation in your skin, and the list goes onward and forward. I think I just made that up. It's cool though. However, with any of these type of symptoms in your skin, and when you're trying to correct these, you actually want to take a step back and not just slather them all over your skin. I know, it sounds like a good idea. If I'm breaking out, I should put this breakout product all over my skin so I don't break out in the future. You're wrong, honey. You actually want to use spot treatment for a lot of these, especially for something like acne, hyperpigmentation, or maybe even redness or anti-aging and wrinkles in the skin. Now, acne, for instance, that's a big one for a lot of people. You want to utilize your products or your serum treatments in those specific areas that you're breaking out. So let's say you're breaking out along your nose area and in your forehead. You want to keep your salicylic serums or anything of that nature in those areas because you may be at risk to over dry the rest of your skin. Now, I find that this helps a lot of my clients when they're going through some rough times of the year, especially when you're looking at times right after summer like we're experiencing now, where you might have seen some sun damage happen. Now, if your sun damage isn't happening all over your face, make sure once again that you're being selective on where you're placing your anti-sun damage or your vitamin C products so that you're not over brightening all over your skin and you're keeping those areas selective to where they need to be so they can really do the job they need to. Now, if you guys have more beauty questions, make sure to write me at Jeray for the Slay at any point in the show, and I'm sure to get back to you if I'm here. I mean, I work here, I guess, so I'm always here. It's cool.
Welcome back to Daily Blast Live. Budgetologist Felicia Jones is back in the DBL studio, and we're talking about getting back to work after retirement on today's Dollars and Cents presented by John Hancock. So Felicia, why are we seeing more older women go back to work now?
You know, that's a really good question. And matter of fact, we're seeing over 49% of women going back to work after retirement. And what we're finding is there are a number of reasons. One reason is a lot of women are seeing their retirement incomes deplete faster than they had planned. Others are, they want to get over boredom because they retired and they want something to do.
I see that.
And then there are some who want a new purpose in life.
So not all financial. Some could just be boredom too.
It's not all financial. Some, because we're living longer.
Right.
So you may want to find something else to do. For those who are actually going back to work after retirement, there are a couple of things you have to pay attention to when it comes to your finances. The first one is you've got to pay attention to that Social Security income, because you could see a potential reduction in the income with Social Security.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's happening now.
Yeah, it's based on some of the IRS minimums and things like that. So you have to pay attention to that. Also, your Social Security income could be taxed after you go back to work based on how much you are making.
Wow,
so,
I didn't know that one either.
Yeah, that's a really big one. So you have to pay attention to that. And then for those who are actually taking pensions, you actually could get your pension suspended. So that's why you have to pay attention to everything and talk to your financial advisor to get the what if scenario so that you're not missing any money if you go back to retirement. But one of the cool things is you actually have quite a few benefits. Some people go back and get great health benefits.
Right.
Some start businesses or a whole new career.
On the flip side, right? But that's a good thing to double check because you could be missing out on that cash.
You definitely could be missing out on some cash.
I love it, Felicia. Yes. Great tips today. Thank you so much. To submit your financial questions for the next Dollars and Cents, please email Ask Mrs. Jones at dailyblastlive.com. And for info about life insurance and retirement planning, call John Hancock at 1-800-978-0663. We'll be right back.
Hi, DBL Nation. Everyone's running away and being quiet because apparently I'm like the strict mother who comes into the DBL digital area. Mike Better even's putting on his hat. That's how serious things are getting right now. Getting Heidi. Kelly is bracing herself. I'm not going to go over to her for once. We're going to ignore Kelly completely. Oh, but Travis didn't. Oh. Ignore me? Why? So anyway, this actually is very fitting, my story. People just disappearing on you. WhatsApp is deciding to use self-destructive messages. Tried to test them out. If you don't know what WhatsApp is, I consider it a text messaging service that really works if you're trying to talk to someone who lives abroad. You can use it here, but mainly the majority of people I know use it if they live in another country. Now, I have it on my phone, but I can't figure out how to use it. Yes, I understand it's simple. Yes, I know it's probably just like using a text messaging system, but the only people that are trying to talk to me on it are like my aunt in Bolivia. And I feel really bad because I think I missed a really nice birthday note from her. And now if they had self-destructive messages, I'd really miss everything. But what do you think of this? What do you think of self-destructive messages in general? I think it was cool for Snapchat for a little bit, but no one is using that kind of service anymore. It's really gone in decline. I was just mentioning the other day, I don't know very many of my friends who even use that app anymore. It's all about Instagram, and Instagram, the photos disappear, but the messages don't. So unless you're being really sketchy, in my opinion, I don't see the need for having self-destructive messages. Well, that's my opinion. Let me know what you think, DBL Nation. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
to DBL. Today is the start of National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. In the U.S., 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with this terrible disease in their lifetime. So we want to take a moment to promote the importance of screenings and early detection. The website nationalbreastcancer.org is a great resource for people looking for more information and for those who want to join the fight against breast cancer. So important.
Yeah, and I have some facts here, and we're just going to get it really real here, guys. These are symptoms for men and women. Skin changes around the breast, an increase or size and shape of one of the breasts, changes in one of the nipples, nipple discharge other than breast milk, general pain or any part of the breast, lumps or nodes, obviously. Then if you're feeling itchy or irritated on one of the breasts, again, men and women, that seems a symptom to be of invasive breast cancer. So make sure you get right to a doctor. Peeling or flaking of the skin. Wow. We just want to see redness. So things you might not think about.
And also, as a man to speak on this, I'll just say this. Anytime that just something in your head says something feels off, don't talk yourself out of it, because that's what we always do. You go, this feels like a little weird. I feel like I'm good. I'm just going to go. And then you have a heart attack. Like, if something feels off, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? The doctor's going to say you're good to go, and you walk out. But just if something feels off, trust your instincts.
And stay on your parents, right? I feel like I have to stay on my mom, and bless her heart, she goes and does it. But just stay on your parents.
Yeah.
That's right.
Saves lives.
I know, it does. We will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye, guys.
Hey guys, I'm here with Michael, and if you know, he is, of course, a digital producer and Twitter guru, if you will, but he's actually wearing pink, and including some pink socks, and I actually found out why. Why don't you tell us, Michael?
Yeah, so my sister is actually battling breast cancer right now. She had it a couple years ago and beat it, and sadly the cancer came back, and so she's fighting again. I just wanted to give her a shout out and tell her how much I love her and how much I'm rooting for her. So
what's her name?
I love you, Alicia.
Alicia, we here at DBL, and we have a whole nation behind us. We are thinking about you. We are sending all of our light and love. If you have prayers, just add Alicia Better. Is that her last name as well? Alicia Better. And then think about wearing pink, being aware. I think what she would want is to spread it around. What is she like? What's her personality?
I mean, she loves dogs.
I love dogs.
She has two dogs, and she calls them her fur babies. So it's awesome. And yeah, so
that's awesome.
I just wanted to tell her I love her a lot, and I'm rooting for you every day.
We are rooting for you every day, and guys, think about spreading awareness, checking, telling people, but wearing pink and recognizing people like Alicia who are fighting. Let's say some prayers, yeah? To Alicia. Bye, guys.
What we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
An airport catering cart spinning out of control. A terrifying bridge collapse. The stories behind these crazy new videos. Then, teachers turning to sugar daddy dating sites. How much money they're making to supplement low salaries. Plus, Amy Schumer gives a shout out to Jessica Simpson about her own post-baby weight loss. Wait until you hear Jessica's hilarious response. And a comedian loses her feet, but gains her dream career. How telling jokes has helped her heal from a horrific accident.
When you win a treadmill on TV, but you have no feet.
Well, I guess we know it's not rigged.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2,
Welcome to DBL. It is Tuesday, October 1st. I'm here with Erica, Tori, Jeff. I am Sam. Let's get right to it. And we do begin with some breaking news. Former Dallas cop Amber Geiger was found guilty of murder in the shooting death of her neighbor, Botham Jean. Geiger said she had mistakenly entered his apartment thinking it was her own and then shot him dead in 2018. The jury in the case deliberated for less than 2 days, ultimately rejecting her self-defense claims. She faces a prison sentence of 5 to 99 years. And here's what the attorney for Botham Jean's family is saying.
This is a huge victory, not only for the family of Botham Jean, but as his mother Alison told me a moment ago, this is a victory for black people in America. It's a signal that the tide is going to change here.
Do you think this is a signal that the tide's going to change?
Yeah, and it's about time that this happens. I mean, it's 2019, and we've just had something happen that doesn't deem a black man as chattel, which is something that has been the historical context of black people in this country. When I look at Botham, I see my brother. I see our very own Al Jackson. Black men who are seen as the criminals, even if they're sitting in their own home having a bowl of ice cream. To be honest, I'm not surprised by this verdict. I'm not surprised by the sentiment that we have not seen, because even people who aren't of color are sick of seeing black people being treated like chattel.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think that this is a woman, Amber Geiger, who had some serious misinformation and some seriously bad advice. To start off with a plea of self-defense implicating Botham, what was that all about? If that was my brother, you would not be able to get me off of her, just to be really honest about it. So you victimize the victim and make him into a predator even after you maliciously murder him, and you don't throw yourself at the mercy of the court. Yeah. So when she said, I don't think I deserve to go home and see my family, guess who doesn't get to go home and see their family? Botham. And neither should she. So she needs to pay the price for a very major misstep. The entire thing was a misstep.
I think her maligning his character is where the court, the jury, and the judge drew the line.
Yeah, exactly.
If she would have came in at the mercy of the court, like she had that split moment of clarity, I think things would have gone a lot differently for her.
Yeah, I always said it's going to backfire. The jury will get mad. You can't do that. Now, the judge, the lawyer said, this is a signal. The climate has changed. The judge made a signal to all of us by making the sentencing phase today or tomorrow. And what that means is
never heard of that.
It's so rare. I can't even tell you. It takes weeks. So just know, to me, to expect a pretty harsh 15 to 25 or more for me. Now it's up to 5 to 99, but that's where I'm seeing it. I hope so.
We will be following it.
Yep.
Now some crazy video you've got to see. Check this out. A catering cart was spinning out of control at the Chicago airport yesterday. Authorities say the accelerator got stuck. And as it spins around, the cart keeps getting closer and closer to the plane. Finally, a quick-thinking American Airlines employee jumps on a baggage cart, saves the day, crashing the cart. Here it goes, and boom, overturning the cart. Even the president is responding, tweeting, great job, just in time. That's your Chicago.
That's how we do. We step up. You see, everybody, everyone was around there ready to tackle that thing. But then
he Urlachered that situation.
Yeah, he did. That was a joke for me and Erica.
I just laughed.
I didn't get it. We went like,
Brian Urlacher.
Is that a local resident?
How about a Dick Butkus? Is that better for you?
Butkus.
Michael Singletary.
Are these football players for the Bears?
Hall of Fame football player, linebackers.
Okay, all right. Okay, da Bears. More unbelievable video. A bridge in Taiwan collapsed today, and the whole thing was caught on camera. Ugh. And in case you missed it, an oil tanker that was trying to cross fell right onto boats below. At least 12 people were hurt. 2 bodies have been recovered, and they're still trying to figure out why the bridge collapsed. That's terrifying. I think anytime we cross a bridge, go under a bridge, at least I think about those things.
Yeah, and you
feel vulnerable.
You're sort of right to do so. Just a quick history lesson without making Jeff fall asleep. When the Depression happened, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, why he was in for 4 terms, is he thought, how do I put an entire workforce to work while building morale? Infrastructure. So you saw the people working on bridges and roads, and we built most of our infrastructure during that time.
While providing jobs.
While providing jobs and morale to a family, dignity back to the family, right? That's 1943-ish. It hasn't been updated since then. So if you're a Democrat and you're running, and I get healthcare and all that, but if you want an issue to bring people together, fix the roads, get an infrastructure bill on day 1 of your presidency. I expect to see someone like Buttigieg or someone logical come out with that. It's a bipartisan issue. We all want to ride safely.
God, good job, Tori. You got me. I was really into it.
Except for the booty
You
judge.
should run.
Booty judge is going to be our next president?
I think I just mean he's the most logical. I could see him saying on day one, I would do something with infrastructure.
Oh, I thought you were foreseeing something. I was like,
No, I like his logic.
Shot.
Yeah.
He's a very long shot. Yeah.
You've got to see this next video, and a warning to our viewers. This video contains graphic content. A woman was finishing up her business at a police headquarters in California when a 22-year-old woman walked in. Wow, you can see her grab the other woman, allegedly holding her hostage while threatening her with an 8-inch meat cleaver. Eventually, police came in and used a stun gun to disarm the 22-year-old. I'm glad they used a stun gun to de-escalate the situation.
There's something to be said about her going to the police station for this.
Oh, it's a cry for help.
Yeah.
1,000% a cry for help.
Yeah.
But it's terrifying. I wouldn't want to be that person who's being held hostage with a meat cleaver.
Yeah.
Where do you even get a meat cleaver?
What do you mean? It's like
the butcher shop?
Yeah, I was thinking Williams-Sonoma.
No, really? Okay.
I don't like that Arash talks to both me and Tori, and then when I have an answer, it goes into Tori's ear too. No, if you go to any place that sells knives, you get a butcher knife.
Just never. That's not a butcher knife. That's a meat cleaver.
Yeah, you can get one of those.
Okay, I've just never seen anybody use a meat cleaver to hold someone hostage.
Yeah.
That's
crazy. Well, I'm glad it happened at a police station. I'm glad they de-escalated the situation and disarmed her. A lot of teachers have to take second or third jobs to make ends meet, but now we're learning more and more are resorting to sugar daddy dating websites like Seeking Arrangement to pay the bills. The site allows women to set up mutually beneficial relationships, often with older men, who are willing to pay for companionship. Seeking Arrangement says they have more than 10,000 teachers on their site. Jeff, how would you feel if Lawson or Layton, if you found out that their teacher was on the site? Would it bother you? Would it not?
I think there's two different stories, or it's two different scenarios we have to tell. One, if they're there for companionship. Are they there just for companionship and they're just talking about what's going on and they go go home? Or are you getting paid to have sex with someone, which is prostitution? So there's two different scenarios.
I bet both
that
happen
we're talking
on
about.
Seeking Arrangement. I bet both. Sometimes it's companionship.
I'm sure, but if my child's teacher was a known prostitute, that comes with a different lifestyle, that comes with drugs possibly, that comes with a lot of other things. And also, I don't want my kid thinking that, oh, maybe, you know what, Mrs. Johnson is a prostitute. If things don't work out for me, I could be a prostitute. It's not something I want anyone to strive for.
I don't think Mrs. Johnson's going to describe herself as a prostitute.
It seems like a bit of a leap. I mean, you don't know what's happening in the personal lives of any of your son's teachers. They could be doing whatever they want on their free time, and that's none of your business, to be quite honest about it.
I don't know if it's not.
I think it would be more, I think parents should be more inclined to make it their business, making sure that the teachers have all the resources that they need, not what they're doing in order to pay for their apartment.
So if your child's teacher was a drug dealer, you'd be okay with that?
Well, a drug dealer would be different because
that's
that's
none of my
illegal.
business.
Well, no, not when they're doing something that's adult consensual.
Prostitution is illegal.
No, what this is not prostitution. They're
Paying someone
saying
for sex is prostitution.
No one said anything about sex. They're saying that they are looking for companionship, and there are a lot of people who offer companionship. We just had a whole story about incels and men who think that women are rejecting them, and now there's finally a solution for it between two consenting adults. Let them be adults.
And that's why I started off with we need to have two separate conversations, one for companionship and one for prostitution.
But we're talking about companionship. That's what this is about.
Okay. Well, then.
I do think there's some people on the site where it leads to sex.
Yeah, but when it comes down to it, if you're talking numbers or what they're doing behind closed doors, there's going to be a lot of things you don't like. I know.
I'm sure.
It's people like to experiment with some things. I'm sure you would not like that, but it's not your business.
Oh. Chime in, DBL Nation. Chime in. DBL's Live coming up. It's the wedding of the season. Justin Bieber and Hailey Baldwin tie the knot. And we've got all the hot details. Then, when life threw her a curveball, comedian Danielle Perez worked even harder to pursue her dream. She's sharing her empowering story with DBL Nation. And you, the viewer, are our fifth host. Should teachers be allowed to carry guns in the classroom? It's a simple question, but the answer can be complicated. Your comments next.
mug's new, like straight
All right.
out the box.
So is anyone writing it online?
Okay.
Those aren't
Thank
new.
you. What?
Tori, do you
What's
have
going on?
comments online?
Yes.
What are they saying?
Okay. Margot says, meh, prostitutes don't bother me. It's basically a slutty teacher. Let their freak flag fly. Erica, I agree.
I don't want my teacher coming in tired. So I want our teachers to be paid appropriately, whether that means they have a second job working at night as a waitress, whether that means they're on seeking arrangement, whether that means they're driving Ubers till 12 o'clock at night. I feel for the teachers. They definitely are underpaid, and I want them coming in motivated and refreshed while they are educating our future. And I hate that they're not. And a lot of you will disagree with me, saying that you think teachers are, I'm reading your comments, that teachers are being paid adequately, that they get the summers off, they make too much money as it is. I completely disagree with you. I think teachers do not make enough money. And they work there. This is coming from someone that my mom was a 4th grade teacher. I remember her coming home from school after a full day from 7 in the morning till 2 p.m. and then her correcting homework till 7, 8 o'clock at night.
And then doing a curriculum.
Or parent-teacher conferences, or using her own money to buy materials, and then they don't get free money over the summer. What they do is they spread out their salary over the summer. I mean, they can choose to not spread out their salary, or they can choose to just not have any pay for 3 months. Well, a lot of people can't afford that. So what they'll do is they'll take their 35 grand a year and spread it out throughout the year.
Also, like, wouldn't you want the best people applying for the job where there's a lot of money and they're like, yeah, like, don't you want people competing for your kids' teachers' jobs?
Yes.
And now I'm like, I guess I'll become a teacher because, like, it's not livable.
It's not livable.
I don't mean to put that down. I just mean it's just not practical sometimes.
My mother was a teacher for 45 years. I've never known her to have less than 3 jobs.
Wow.
She's still working.
Welcome back to DBL. It is time for Fifth Host, when we talk about what you're talking about. Today, some students in Florida will be entering classrooms with armed teachers. Now, more than a year after the Parkland shooting, a new law allows some teachers to bring guns to class. Those not in favor of this argue that mental health programs are a better deterrent to mass shootings and that all armed personnel should remain outside of the classroom. So, DBL Nation, should teachers be able to bring guns to the class? Take it away, Tori.
All right. Morgan from Facebook says, I'm afraid a kid will try to steal a gun from a teacher. Scary. I don't think teachers should carry. I wouldn't feel safe if my child's school allowed this. Morgan, I completely am with you on this. More guns equals more bullets equals more people dead. It happens. It's science. It is statistics. It will happen. Also, now you have a shooter coming in thinking maybe the teacher has the gun. I'm going to shoot that teacher first. So I don't know why you would make these teachers targets, underpaid, and now have the responsibility to police. Put money into security or something else. This isn't the answer for me.
Priscilla from Facebook says, no, there are too many teachers who have been fired for abusing students. Priscilla, thank you for writing in. So I think that really we don't know what is happening around us, clearly, because it's not as though we've ever anticipated a school shooting or a mass attack. However, we also don't know that who's concealing carrying as well. And it's actually all 50 states allow concealed carry. They're just different versions of who's allowed to conceal and carry. Our state in Colorado is a concealed carry state. That's all to say, you don't know who around you is packing, and I think that this will be normalized in a way that a few years down the road, we're not talking about the teachers being targets. We're talking about the fact that someone's scared to come into a school because they don't know who to look out for.
I like that. Lucretia from Facebook says, yes, they should be able to carry. It's the state of the world we live in. I agree with Erica on this one. Just because it's just the same as an air marshal. We don't know who they are or what they have on them, but I feel safer knowing that they're there. This might be a deterrent to anyone who wants to shoot up a school. I don't know which teacher has it, but someone might. We might not even have a gun in the school, but the deterrent of maybe there might be a gun in the school might be good. So I don't know, and I'm not saying any teacher. I'm not saying Aunt Johnson, whatever, Mabel need to carry a gun. People who want to carry a gun, carry that
But don't
gun.
you think that's different between an air marshal who's trained and a teacher?
I think there's teachers that could be trained too if they're willing. You don't think there's gym teachers that are athletic?
But they're saying, I do, but it's 140 hours of training, and some cops even shoot people.
Yeah, but 18 million people got their concealed carry last year alone. So there are a lot of teachers who already are concealed carry.
That's fine. I don't want to require it in any way.
I feel
It's not
you know, in
required.
2019, it just. I get that we want solutions.
Yeah, I hear
just
you guys make
don't know if
valid
this is
points.
it.
I hear all
Yeah.
of you.
All right. Well, we will be right back. Thanks for writing in.
Hey guys, we're just having a little look at some of your Fifth House comments. So today we were talking about should teachers or marshals in schools be allowed to have a gun in the school? So we want to know what you guys think. Should there be a no-gun policy, or should we be arming certain teachers or certain members of staff to help protect children from school shootings? We've had loads of comments about this one, so I'm going to read some of them out and let you know what you guys are saying. Yolanda Fletcher wrote in on Facebook, said it's like the wild, wild west in the classroom. Sometimes, in some cases, yeah, when we've heard some of these awful mass shootings, it's just absolutely horrendous, and it's sad that that's even a thing, but it's true. Connie Gross on Facebook said, yes, teachers need to protect the kids. Take this person out. Deborah Billiou on Facebook says, I think it's great that some teachers have guns as long as they are trained. And Zoe Rose on YouTube wrote in saying, sorry, Erica, but I disagree with you on this one. Eric Gardner happened 5 years ago and the cops got away with it. Whereas Russell Mercier says, yes, after they receive proper training on the use of a firearm. We're having a lot of people saying yes, actually, to be honest. It says, Linda Kennemil Mitchell on Facebook says they do it every day in Texas. Heck yes, protect the children. So it seems as though a lot of you are wanting this to move forward.
Welcome back to DBL. Now, we've all heard the term laughter is the best form of medicine. For one comedian, she had no idea how much she needed that. Till life threw her a curveball. Meet my friend, my girl, fellow comedian, Danielle Perez.
Danielle Perez was made for comedy.
I am a party girl. I was out at the club recently, popping bottles, popping wheelies, as you do.
But that was never part of her plan. Her life changed at just 20 years old. Danielle was crossing the street in San Francisco when she was hit by a streetcar. Her legs were amputated below the knee, and she spent the next month in the hospital recovering. Danielle struggled with depression and getting her life on track, until she started doing stand-up at open mic nights.
Honestly, I haven't seen acts of treason this flagrant since Kelly referred to herself as the second lead singer of Destiny's Child.
Her big break was in 2015, when she ironically won a treadmill on The Price is Right. Her reaction went viral, and she soon started gaining popularity with appearances on major TV shows like Jimmy Kimmel.
It's gonna be, I'm gonna cast it in bronze and have it as a trophy to my network television debut.
She uses comedy to share her story, but in return, it's helped her heal by finding her strength. Danielle is now a full comedian on tour and an advocate for disability rights, teaching people that her differences are actually her strengths.
10,000 hours ain't enough for the goal.
Yes.
All right. Yes, and joining us now, my friend, fellow comedian, Danielle Perez.
Whoop, whoop.
Danielle, you are an example of making the best out of a bad situation. Welcome to Denver, first of all.
Thank you for having
How's the city
me.
treating you? We like it here.
I like Denver. Denver's great. Getting here was a big old pain, though.
Yes, I saw you edit yourself there, too. Good job.
I did.
That's my girl.
The spicy girl. But You know, the wheelchair airports, that's long roads, lots of travel. I hitched a ride on one of the little go-karts.
Yeah.
Nice. To get here a little
And you were here for the High Plains Festival, the comedy festival, right?
The last night.
That's right. All right, my girl.
And you
All
had
right.
a really big year touring with Maria Bamford, which is awesome. What I want to talk to you about, first of all, your resiliency is so inspiring. So I'm just really honored to be sitting right next to you.
Now, I'm just sitting because Al was standing earlier, and I was like, standing really
Yes, it's going to be. I'm going to let you know who runs this.
Talk to us about that moment in 2015, your big break, Price is Right. How were you able to take that into a viral moment, capitalize on it, and do people still recognize you just from that episode?
Oh, well, I mean, it was just so ridiculous. Like, you can't write or script that. It's crazy. I was so shocked that everyone else was acting like it was business as usual. Because I'm like, this is pretty nuts. Like, this isn't normal. But, I mean, yeah, people still recognize me. I was out at a bar recently, and the guy was like, were you on The Price is Right? That was 5 years ago.
Well, you're a light that people remember, absolutely. Yes. So Danielle, when you're doing comedy, you're not just talking about your disability. You're also a strong, independent Latina woman.
Yeah, she don't know me.
That's right.
Unless there are 3 flights of stairs.
Yeah. I was going to ask what's the audience reaction, but I think we get what the audience reaction is. How does the audience receive you?
They laugh. You know, I'm normalizing my body and my life experience, and I think that if we can all laugh at something, we can understand it. And you don't see women like me on stage joking a lot, but you can see me and you can laugh and you're like, all right, I get it. She's kind of wild. She's a little crazy.
Yeah.
We're all kind of wild and crazy.
I think it's healing and cathartic too, just like watching you. What are your future goals? What's next for you? I'm sure your fans out there and our DBL viewers want to know.
Oh, doing everything, writing, acting, being on TV, taking Al's job here.
See, this is why I said one segment and she goes. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, well, if speaking of future goals, you can see us tonight in the future. Yes, catch us at Oscar Blues in the Buzzard Room. We're going to do my girl Janae Burris' show at 9:30 tonight, right here in Denver, Colorado. So come out and catch her before she vanishes back to LA. So come see her tonight.
Yes.
Are you going to come back?
I will come back.
Yeah, she's going to take your job.
I'll be back.
I'm just like, I'm trying, because you're staying with me again.
Yeah.
All right, no hotels. That's where we are right now. Your family.
I love it. He's got a view of the mountains.
Yes, your DBL family, so you're here.
Hell yeah.
Thanks, girl. I love you.
Thank you. This is fun, you guys.
It almost seems like an intervention is about to start. Your mom's back there. Thanks, Danielle. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, so in a minute we're going to be talking about the Bieber's wedding. Wedding of the century? Possibly yes. So if you guys didn't know, it's the second time they got married. The first time was a really low-key, minimal affair, but this time Hailey and Justin took over an entire resort. I saw some people like on boats, like floating down a river to get to it. I don't know if you guys saw that on Instagram. I'm looking at Leo. Leo's like, you just missed Leo. There we go. They were electric boats like that, but it looked really glamorous. And then we saw they had a photo booth, and they had like the Kardashians there. They had Kylie Jenner there. They had Kendall Jenner there, and oh my gosh. Aside from the wedding, right, I looked on Kylie Jenner's Instagram and oh my gosh, she wore the most breathtaking dress. It was gold. It looked like it was sculpted to her body. It almost looked like it looked like a statue almost. It looked like really hard. And it just, honestly, it's absolutely incredible. So I've not seen Hailey Bieber's dress just yet, or Hailey Baldwin. I've not seen that just yet, but Kylie Jenner's dress was amazing. She took little Stormy. Stormy looked really cute, and obviously Travis Scott was there too. And then Kendall looked fabulous as well. So honestly, no one held back on their outfits. And then Kylie Jenner also posted a bottle of Moet champagne, and it's just so extravagant. It was covered in crystals, like Swarovski crystals, pink ones, and it had the date of it, and it said the Baldwins and the date. I mean, if that's not extra, And if that's not fancy, I really don't know what it is. So, yeah, I would have loved to have been invited. Sadly, it didn't happen. And I know someone else who would have loved to have been invited too. Jeff. Jeff is obsessed with Justin Bieber. I don't really know why. I mean, Justin Bieber's great, of course, but Jeff really, really loves him. So Jeff was like, he wished he could have... Wait, where's he going? Jeff wished he would have been invited to the wedding. Like, he'd have been hiding the bushes. He'd have got in that hotel. Look at you unlocked it.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
You're
looking at Justin Bieber's biggest fan.
You're filming the camera.
I was saying you're Justin Bieber's biggest fan, so we were just spying on you. So, yeah, I reckon Jeff definitely would have wanted to be at that wedding. But what I think is, in those cases, like, what do you take? If you're at a wedding, what do you take? People who have got absolutely everything. I mean, normal wedding lists now, I feel like, are they still even a thing? Because nowadays, a lot of people kind of live together before they get married, like when they're dating, don't they? I mean, obviously, if you're religious, then no, that's a no-go. But for a lot of people, they do that. But, like, what do you even get people that have got everything? I don't know.
Welcome back to DBL. We are live. Tori, what comments do you have?
Okay, first off, Michael Loveland says, a knife. This is about the woman, the hostage. He says, always a cry for help. And who doesn't have a meat cleaver?
I don't.
I certainly don't have one. Also, Gloria Fazio says, happy birthday to my hubby, Joe.
Yeah, Joe.
Happy birthday,
Happy birthday. Here's what's coming up next on DBL.
From one new mom to another, Amy Schumer shouts out Jessica Simpson on social media, why the internet is cracking up. Then, does science really prove women mature faster than men? I think we cracked the code. And wedding bells for the Biebers. We've got the lowdown on the celebrity wedding of the season when DBL comes back.
Hi DBL Nation, it's Raquel here. Right now it's time for Fast Blast, where I give you all the trending news you need to know in under 2 minutes. So let's get that timer up and get started. Now, starting today, you have 1 year to get your real ID. Next October, if your driver's license isn't up to date, you won't be able to board a flight with it. So start checking now to make sure you have everything you need to get a real ID. I'm gonna tell it to you again. The deadline is October 1st, 2020. Grab your phone, make a note, Siri 2020, because I'll forget too. So this is all for the best of us. Now, have you ever daydreamed about traveling the world, but could never, ever, ever leave your pet? Well, right now, a company called Snaptrip wants to pay someone to travel UK as a furfluencer. I just want that job in real life and hang out at doggy-friendly spots. Telling you, it is a dream job. Take it up while you can. Now, growing up, I loved Disney movies, especially the hand-drawn look of the classics like Fantasia, all the way to Aladdin. While computer animated movies look amazing, there's something special about that original look. Well, now there's a chance it could come back. Frozen's director says she could absolutely see it coming back as a style. I'm pretty happy about that. Now on to food I don't think should exist. This Japanese company has mayonnaise flavored ice cream. It's mixed with cookie, white chocolate, and mayonnaise. All right. I thought dipping my French fries into a vanilla shake was wild. Guess it wasn't. DBL Nation, would you try this? Let me know. That's it for today's Fast Blast. See you next time.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2,
Welcome to DBL. We are live. Let's get started. Amy Schumer gave birth to a baby boy in May, but she's in no rush to drop the weight. She posted this photo with her sister saying, "Okay, Simpson, I've lost 10 pounds and $100 to my sister playing poker." She's referring to Jessica, who recently lost 100 pounds since welcoming her daughter. She replied to Amy, Jessica, saying, "You're hot. Size only matters when it comes to men." Ooh, and I have to admit, I laughed at that, but guess what? I want to thank one of our viewers for keeping me honest. Let me find the viewer. I believe it's Liz on Twitter.
And Jody, I think.
No, Liz on Twitter. And, I think you're right, Tori. So we have a lot of comments today. I'm going through them. But in so many words, Jody on Twitter said, that what a double standard. If a male was to respond to another male celebrity, look at something about the size of her breasts, that's all that matters, it would be a big outcry. Okay, Erica, what do you think? I get where she's coming from.
I do too.
I never even read it that way.
I didn't even read it once.
I thought she was saying only men care about what size women are.
No, I think she meant
I didn't even.
She meant the pee-pee.
That's why I was like, what are you guys talking about?
She meant the penis size.
She did. Said it
She did.
You said the pee-pee size?
Well, I just know my executive producer's right behind me, so I didn't know how much I should censor it. And then my mind goes,
saying it three times was the answer.
And I was like, absolutely not. This is part of the anatomy.
Absolutely.
You can say penis.
Absolutely.
Not a big deal.
Yes.
We're adults.
Yes.
So is that a 4 times?
4 or 5 times, yeah.
But I understood it as a joke on
as a
male anatomy.
Me too, and I laughed.
And
it took until Jody, and I got to be honest, I didn't even. And I'm Mrs. Double Standard, and I didn't even cross my mind. So apologies, Jody, if you're watching. A big shout out. I didn't know.
I thank her.
I do too, because I
love our viewers.
I got owned by Jody.
Mm-hmm.
I was just in the dark the whole time.
Yeah, you missed the joke.
I really did. It went.
And Jeff was just happy Jody brought it up, huh? Because you didn't feel like bringing it up.
Yeah, I pick my battles. You know what I mean?
I respect
saving
that.
it for I'm sure, in a couple stories. The Biebers finally tied the knot last night. Stephanie Jones, who went to the lavish event.
Yeah, that's right, Sam. It's official again. Justin and Hailey wed in a private ceremony in South Carolina. I mean, just look at those two. They just posted these. The happy newlyweds went all out with a fancy bedazzled champagne and gifted themselves a few little gifts, you know, the usual. Just a leather jacket and a watch that are worth around 60 grand, casual. But social media cannot get enough of the A-list guests, Kendall and Kylie Jenner. And Kylie brought along little baby Stormy, who stole the show. And Will Smith's lookalike son, Jaden Smith, well, he hit the photo booth with the happy couple. Plus, supermodel Joan Smalls and singer Justine Skye attended. So, I mean, I'd say it was a pretty successful celebration. What do you reckon, Sam?
I agree. And Stephanie, I have to ask you for your fashion expertise, because a lot of people were harping on Justin Bieber, his look, his hair, some of the suits that he posted. What did you think about the actual look?
I think, you know what? I think he scrubbed up really well. I love that he cut that bit of a mess of a mop of a hair. You know, we all see like our brothers go through a bit of like a cool stage where they're growing it out, but look how smart he looked. You know, tight sides, sleek to one side. He's rocking his entire look, and he wore a beautiful white suit at one point with Hailey. Gorgeous, gorgeous.
Steph, what do you think about the grill?
The grill?
So he had
in between his teeth?
Yeah, on the bottom, one of those pictures, she's holding his mouth down.
I mean, we've seen Kim Kardashian do it. We've seen Kanye West do it. It's a bit of a cool thing that people have got far too much money than sense, let's be honest.
That's fair.
Thank you, Steph.
Thanks, guys.
I like the long hair. Sorry.
Wait, mean his old hair?
No,
yeah,
I
do.
No way.
Oh.
I don't like. Well, it's not that I don't like. I just appreciate when a guy does something a little different. Obviously. I don't know.
I liked both.
My husband calls it hedge fund hair. He's like, why are you making me have hockey hair? I'm like, it just looks better that way.
Interesting.
I like the short cut on
I liked
Biebs.
both.
Well, I think it looks sharp.
You know what's funny? Not one person said how beautiful Hailey looked.
I was just thinking.
No, you don't know, because I just said it.
But as you said, you know what's funny? We didn't even talk about Hailey.
We take for granted because she always looks so beautiful. She's a model.
Really, look at that picture right there. She looks fantastic.
But Jeff, I think to Erica's point, it's because we do see Justin dress very scruffy, very down, and so I always see her looking beautiful.
Yeah, I just pointed it out.
Picking his battles, sure. Yesterday we told you about a homeless woman singing opera in the subway. Now we have an update on her. Raquel, what's going on?
Sam, less than 24 hours after becoming a viral sensation, Emily Zamorka's opera performance in an LA subway landed her a job. She's been invited to perform at the opening of Little Italy in Los Angeles, and a council member in that district is working on finding her long-term housing. The 52-year-old from Russia says she became homeless after her violin was destroyed while performing outside. Now, a GoFundMe has raised more than $35,000 for this talented musician, and she calls her overnight fame a miracle.
Thank you, Raquel. I love stories like this.
She said she prayed every single night for someone to just
notice
hear her. And she was
Yeah.
alone with a cop who took the picture, and then silence, and then boom, she exploded. Wow. Beautiful story.
Love it. And I love that the GoFundMe keeps going up, so keep those donations coming. The fallout from Forever 21's bankruptcy continues. They plan to close about a fourth of their locations, which will impact malls across the country. So we're wondering how you feel. Do you, DBL Nation, do you prefer to shop in store or online? Go to dblvote.com. Let us know. Jeff, do you prefer online or in store?
I like going to the store, actually, but if I am going to shop online, it's because I already know the style and size. The style, too. It's not because all different styles are different, you know, like large or extra large. We were just talking about this. You were talking about your shoe in the break.
Right.
How your shoe, it's the same brand, but you have two different sizes. I don't like that.
I know, I don't either, which is
Very
the reason why I
confusing.
have to go to stores, because I had to ship a shoe back twice because they don't apparently make shoes for big-footed women. I have no idea. I don't know. I'm about to go on like South Broadway and see if I can get ask one of the drag queens like from RuPaul's Drag Race, because we have a bunch of them here.
That's amazing.
If I can borrow the shoe.
That's amazing.
Seriously.
That's amazing.
I love shopping online.
Me too.
I know that you are very specific when you need a new shirt for the weekend. You do. You have a whole
thought that
plan.
was so good that you got to bring it back?
I just know you have a plan.
If I have people
Tell everybody.
So if you watch all 4.5 hours, we have to talk about the same thing all the time. So I said last hour, and I wasn't going to bring it up again this hour. Am I being too specific? There you go. See? Because if I'm going out for that weekend, or I'm going away, or I'm going to LA, I'll go get a new shirt. That's the end of the story.
Great story. No, that is a good story. Someone just wrote in, it's called Temporarily 21. Huh?
That was my joke.
What? Someone just wrote in right now. I was just repeating it.
I get made, okay, I'm going back to the 4.5 hours. I make jokes and I get made fun of for saying the same joke, so I didn't say that joke again.
Sorry,
and then Tori just jacked it.
I didn't jack anything.
Wow.
I was just giving the commenter some love.
All right, little too much inside baseball here.
You want us to be honest? We do those commercials. We're honest.
We are.
We really are.
Sometimes a little too honest.
Yeah.
Do you prefer to shop in stores or online? 50% of you are with you, Jeff, in stores. Okay.
50%.
I know. Well, everyone knows men and women develop differently, but a new study says women mature at the age of 32, while men have a little catching up to do. They don't fully mature until the age of 43.
Yep.
You believe it, Erica?
Yes.
I do too.
Absolutely. My husband is younger than me. I say that because he likes to remind me every single day that he's younger than me. And when it comes to his brain, like there's definitely like systems in place that are far more advanced than I am. But when it comes to his maturity,
Anthony is cool. He's like kind of a kid.
I always have to ask, like, what are you doing? Stop doing that.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? You are going to hurt yourself. It's not funny. I'm laughing because he's alive, but there have been times where I wasn't so sure.
Well, science is on our side, women. According to Dr. Drew, we all have the same amount of neurons, all of us, boys and girls, as we're born. But girls, we find out ways to improve the connectivity, so we actually prune those connections.
Are you saying we garden our neurons better?
And we make them more efficient, and so therefore we mature much faster than men. That's science. What do you think about this, Jeff?
Science.
That's science. Do you believe it?
I need another man on this panel.
Do you believe it?
I believe it. I do believe it. And you definitely see it with little kids too. The younger girls mature way faster than the boys.
Yeah.
Boom.
But what happens when you eat too many crackers?
If I tell the same joke, I'm going to get made fun of for telling the same joke. I was going to tell the same joke again, but then Tori's over there and she's like, good one.
Okay. We have new viewers. You don't have to call it out.
But then she calls me out.
You don't have to call it out. I'm
I didn't
baiting
do
you.
anything.
I
am baiting you, and then you just call it out.
She said on air one time, I told the same joke 3 times. She goes, "You're going to tell that joke again?" I'm like,
well, you can't do that, Tori. These
Oh my God, I didn't do anything. I was sitting here quietly.
You jacked my joke when I didn't use it.
jack anything. I was having my coffee.
Okay, we do have new viewers every. We do have new viewers. I thought your cracker joke was quite funny, but okay.
Well, now you're going to have to qualify that, okay? Say the joke. She can't just throw that out there.
It's real, right?
I got yelled at by All right.
Tell us the cracker joke, Jeff.
We do this story every hour, every day. So I said, I brought it up to, are women more mature when they get older? And I said, do you take hormones into account? Okay? And I said, you have to take that into account because I was eating crackers the other day.
Probably
and my
too
wife,
loud.
Yeah, they were too loud. And my wife yelled at me because it was that time of month.
Or you eat your crackers too loud.
I think it was the thing, the other thing.
You don't think you eat your crackers too loud?
It would have been something. If I wasn't eating crackers, I would have been drinking water. I would have got yelled at.
Gulping your water?
See what I'm saying? You have to take that into account.
You're pretty considerate. Like, because I sit right next to you. You're pretty considerate about what you eat and how you drink. You are. Sometimes the banana.
It's not even about me, how I eat.
Sometimes the bananas, though.
Our boss is staying right here, and I'm worried about having my job tomorrow.
Okay,
That's what I'm worried about.
All right, here we go. Coming up on DBL, more and more people are going back to work after retiring, the things you need to be aware of before re-entering the workforce. But first, we tackle some of the biggest common misconceptions around. Your mind will be blown after the next segment, so don't go anywhere.
See, I wasn't thinking that.
I was like, you better qualify and tell that joke.
Oh, see, I wasn't even thinking about that.
I think cracker, like, yeah. That's what I thought you were talking about.
Think about that
And I was like, geez, Louise. That's what I thought. I go, what is happening? Thank you. Yeah, that was
Oh, see, I didn't get that.
Thank you. All right, Zoe Rhodes right in. Oh,
joke,
Jeff.
but I didn't miss it.
With this emoji. No, hold on. This emoji.
Oh my God.
One of those emojis. There are many. Oh, someone says this maturity thing is ridiculous. It just depends on the person. Well, Stephen George, what do you think about Sam's comment that science is on our side? Margot wrote, well, guns are going nowhere anytime soon. Oh, guns are not going anywhere, aren't going anywhere anytime soon. So what's the alternative? When there's no funding and we're up against a time clock. By the way, they cure cancer with chemo, which is a type of toxin. So I hear that, I do, and I understand what you mean about taking some kind of action. I just don't think arming our teachers is it. Now, even security guards, I'm a little bit more in favor of, although what happened at Parkland? The security guard refused to go in because he got scared. And more guns to me means more killing. So that's how I stand. Michael Loveland says he did not steal your line.
Totally jacked that line. Totally jacked that line. But remember when you were sitting over there and you're going to tell that joke 3 times? I'm like, I'm on 3 hours.
It's true.
So now I'm hesitant to pull the trigger on a joke I told when Tori was sitting here
But excuse
45
me,
minutes ago.
I was being very nice and quiet and not interrupting that. I wasn't. I didn't want to take you down.
Take me down?
I didn't want to.
You just did. I'm talking about it. You're in my head.
Oh, God.
So obviously you did.
Welcome back to DBL. Remember when an apple a day kept the doctor away, or back when smoking was good for your health? We know better now, but there's still a lot of learning left for us all. So today we're going to bust some common misconceptions. We're calling it, so you want the truth? You can't handle the truth. Let's get started and see if we can handle these truths.
I love it.
Ouch. First up, we all were taught that humans have 5 senses, but that's only partially true. Humans actually have close to 20 senses. That includes balance, pain, movement, hunger, and thirst. I did not know that.
Those are senses?
I don't think those are senses. Those are just things.
Well, that's a sense for pain. That's a sense for thirst.
Okay.
Right?
I get the balance one because mine goes haywire often.
Yeah.
I just like how we try to debunk the stuff that's already been debunked.
I know. We somehow.
We're like, that's not true.
Next, 41% of Americans think humans and dinosaurs coexisted, but they're wrong. Humans missed their dino friends by about 63 63 years.
This is
thought
crazy.
That?
I know who thought
I think they think Neanderthals,
like the cavemen,
overlapped. They do. They do.
Yeah.
They're
Who's
drastically
they?
different. An enormous amount of people think that.
How is that possible to think that? You're talking about dinosaurs, which were supposed to be these immense no, they're not extraterrestrial.
No, they're big. They're big.
These huge beings.
Right.
And then they couldn't survive, but the humans survived?
Yeah, it doesn't add up.
Doesn't really add up. They think the cave paintings is the same time of the dinosaurs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm glad we debunked that one.
Please, somebody write in if you think this.
Dinosaurs are
we
not
won't call you out. Just write in.
Yeah, we won't call you out.
We're definitely calling you out.
Next, the belief that Napoleon Bonaparte was short. It's just a tall tale. The statesman was actually 5'7", but the average height during that time for a Frenchman in the 1800s was like 5'7".
Right, so Stu Magoo taught us that actually a cartoonist in Britain tried to take down his
morale
basically,
security.
and always did cartoons of him super short. But he wasn't that short, and Napoleon said, this guy took me down more than any armies in the whole wide world. I think that's super interesting.
And the whole complex, that Napoleon complex, came from that guy.
That sucks.
That guy should get some credit.
He's like turning over in his grave.
He's like,
that was his biggest insecurity, and then we still use it to
And
this
it wasn't
day.
even his thing.
That's what people
Isn't that
know him
interesting?
for, almost.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
What? Tell us, Erica.
It's about dinging the ego. People try too hard. It's not that hard to do. I'm telling you, history repeats itself.
I feel like I'm in a kitchen and
I'm being super serious. You're talking about a leader who is invincible.
Right.
According to
But
my
ego.
I just got it now,
But
too.
ego
I just got
is
it now,
so
too.
easy to destroy.
And think about those people are most likely to try and be leaders because they don't have ego. They always want more and more and more.
Right.
C'est vrai.
What's that mean?
It's true.
I like it. Next, the idea that shaving thickens hair is not true. I didn't know this. Regrown hair is not thicker, coarser, or darker. It just appears so because it's no longer tapered. Oh, I always thought this was true.
Me too.
Yeah, my mom even would tell me, like, she would try and hold me off to shaving my legs. She's like, then it's gonna grow in thick.
Yeah. Or if you tweeze. Yeah, I thought the same thing.
I know this isn't true because I get my face shaved twice a month.
Oh yeah, and it doesn't grow in thicker, huh?
It does not grow in thicker. It does grow. It does grow back in different places. That's why I need twice a month.
It does in different places?
Well, because I use what is it called? The collagen protein, so my hair grows faster.
Yeah.
But it doesn't grow thicker.
Okay, yeah. So that's I did not know that. Learned something new.
Are you looking to see it? You can see it.
No. I'm getting
It's called dermaplane.
These projects.
It's dermaplane.
Skin, it's flawless.
It is flawless.
Coming up on DBL, important advice if you're retired and are going back to work, what you need to know so you're not caught off guard. Next in Dollars and Cents.
Are you? Hey guys, welcome back to Beauty Blast. I'm Jeray Banks, or you can find me at Jeray for the Slay on any social media platform. Today, we're speaking about spot treatment versus slathering products all over your skin. This is very important because a lot of people suffer from different things like acne, over texture in the skin, hyperpigmentation in your skin, and the list goes onward and forward. I think I just made that up. It's cool though. However, with any of these type of symptoms in your skin, and when you're trying to correct these, you actually want to take a step back and not just slather them all over your skin. I know, it sounds like a good idea. If I'm breaking out, I should put this breakout product all over my skin so I don't break out in the future. You're wrong, honey. You actually want to use spot treatment for a lot of these, especially for something like acne, hyperpigmentation, or maybe even redness or anti-aging and wrinkles in the skin. Now, acne, for instance, that's a big one for a lot of people. You want to utilize your products or your serum treatments in those specific areas that you're breaking out. So let's say you're breaking out along your nose area and in your forehead. You want to keep your salicylic serums or anything of that nature in those areas because you may be at risk to over dry the rest of your skin. Now, I find that this helps a lot of my clients when they're going through some rough times of the year, especially when you're looking at times right after summer like we're experiencing now, where you might have seen some sun damage happen. Now, if your sun damage isn't happening all over your face, make sure once again that you're being selective on where you're placing your anti-sun damage or your vitamin C products so that you're not over brightening all over your skin and you're keeping those areas selective to where they need to be so they can really do the job they need to. Now, if you guys have more beauty questions, make sure to write me at Jure for the Slay at any point in the show, and I'm sure to get back to you if I'm here. I mean, I work here, I guess, so I'm always here. It's cool. Write me in and we'll talk soon. We'll see you.
Welcome back to Daily Blast Live. Budgetologist Felicia Jones is back in the DBL studio, and we're talking about getting back to work after retirement on today's Dollars and Cents presented by John Hancock. So, Felicia, why are we seeing more older women go back to work now?
You know, that's a really good question. And matter of fact, we're seeing over 49% of women going back to work after retirement. And what we're finding is there are a number of reasons. One reason is a lot of women are seeing their retirement incomes deplete faster than they had planned. Others are, you know, they want to get over boredom because they retired and they want something to do. I see that. And then there are some who want a new purpose in life.
So not all financial. Some could just be boredom too.
It's not all financial. Some, you know, because I mean, we're living longer.
Right.
So you may want to find something else to do. For those who are actually going back to work after retirement, there are a couple of things you have to pay attention to when it comes to your finances. The first one is you've got to pay attention to that Social Security income, because you could see a potential reduction in the income with Social Security.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's happening now.
Yeah, it's based on some of the IRS minimums and things like that. So you have to pay attention to that. Also, your Social Security income could be taxed after you go back to work based on how much you are making.
Wow,
So,
I didn't know that one either.
Yeah, that's a really big one. So you have to pay attention to that. And then for those who are actually taking pensions, you actually could get your pension suspended. So that's why you have to pay attention to everything and talk to your financial advisor to get the what if scenario so that you're not missing any money if you go back to retirement. But one of the cool things is you actually have quite a few benefits. Some people go back and get great health benefits.
Right.
Some start businesses or a whole new career.
On the flip side, right? But that's a good thing to double check because you could be missing out on that
You
cash.
definitely could be missing out on some cash.
I love it, Felicia. Great tips today. Thank you so much. To submit your financial questions for the next Dollars and Cents, please email Ask Mrs. Jones at dailyblastlive.com. And for info about life insurance and retirement planning, call John Hancock at 1-800-978-0663. We'll be right back.
Ever fantasized about a cartoon character? Turns out 1 in 4 people have. That means one of us on this panel. Maybe it was Jessica Rabbit or Prince Eric from The Little Mermaid comes to mind. A new study says people who fantasize about fictional characters are uncomfortable with intimacy, and that 1 in 6 people fantasized about sex with an alien.
Okay, can I just stop there with these stats?
Yeah.
No one's ever asked me in my life, do I want to have sex with an alien for a survey? Where do you get these numbers? 1 in 6 people want to have sex?
Probably Pornhub.
Yeah.
They have stats.
Okay, when was the last time you took a survey on Pornhub, Al?
Well, no, they
have data on what's been downloaded.
Search history.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Okay, so
get out of here. Not everybody's on Pornhub. You can't just throw around numbers.
There's a lot of people on
1 in 6 people. 1 in 6. Who in here wants to have sex with an alien?
No one's gonna yell that out.
Oh, we have
one
person here. 2 people here.
Yeah.
2 people, but the one person's holding up both her hands.
Yeah.
She is wearing alien green,
Yeah.
too.
Listen, I will be honest, because we do say that we are completely honest on this show. I never sexually fantasized about Howard the Duck, but I did have a crush on him at 8 years old. So.
But where did you think it was gonna go?
You had a crush on that? That is scary.
That's Sam's type.
I
That's
was
more of a shot at your husband.
I was 8. Oh, really,
You clearly have a type.
Al Jackson, you said earlier today that you sexually fantasized about one particular cartoon. Okay, at least I had a crush, didn't sexual fantasize. Who did you sexually fantasize about,
I said Holly
Al?
from that movie Cool World, but I thought she was sexy. I didn't say I sexually fantasized. See, what's wrong with that? It was
She's
1992.
Hot.
I was
She's
like,
hot.
yeah, that's about
she's
that
hot.
time.
Jeff?
I mean, the classic Jessica Rabbit comes to mind,
Did you
right?
sexually fantasize about Jessica Rabbit?
No, I was 8.
Yeah, you still know what's
So
going on.
you just had a crush on her. You had a crush on her.
Erica's shaking her head. Never, Erica.
Well, I was asked just like all of you were asked, and apparently you responded with a name. I responded with, "This is weird. Stop asking." I don't get this at all.
That's why it's 1 and 4. But clearly on this panel, it's 3 out of 4.
It's not, though. These numbers, people just make up these numbers, and no one questions them at all.
I think you'd be surprised.
I think you'd be shocked.
8 billion people in the world,
Shocked,
bro.
1 in 6? Get real. No way I'm buying that.
Okay. You don't have to buy it.
No, is this ever or currently?
What?
Like this?
I don't know, Al. I didn't come up with this.
Now we're taking stats from people who've passed on.
Okay. Welcome back to DBL. Today is the start of National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. In the U.S., 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with this terrible disease in their lifetime. So we want to take a moment to promote the importance of screenings and early detection. The website nationalbreastcancer.org is a great resource for people looking for more information and for those who want to join the fight against breast cancer. And one of our very own here, Mike Better, you know, he opened up during the digital break that he and his sister are going through this right now. And I say he and his sister because as a family you do go through that together. So our wishes are with his sister Alicia, is that right? With Alicia. And I just am so impressed by the DBL Nation sending love and hugs. For example, Shirley D. Taft said, "We love you a lot, Alicia. Hang tough. We'll be praying for you. Good job supporting your sister, Michael."
That's amazing. And guys, really, really take this opportunity to actually look at the breast, men or women right now. Matthew Knowles, Beyonce's father, thinks that he actually has breast cancer. So this happens to both men and women. So make sure to look for peeling of the skin, flaking of the skin, redness, irritation. It's not just a lump. If you have lymph nodes, which are right under the armpits, if they start hurting or itching, that's a sign. So all of this stuff, really start examining your body. I know I'm getting kind of graphic because I want to. All month, we're going to repeat it. Feel yourself and make sure you protect yourself.
Absolutely. And our love to Alicia. We are here for you. DBL Nation is here for you. And that speaks volumes. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye, guys.